everyone! Old School Pokemon here, back again with the PokeFlipz podcast, joined by my usual co-host, KetchumAllCollectibles Dan. How we doing today, Dan?
I think we almost just accidentally got the eBay Live intro. I felt that awkward pause. We almost just got hit with the eBay Live. He has been fully consumed. We've lost him.
Well, the intros are so similar. It's hard to keep them separate.
Yeah, but yeah, sorry everyone for being a couple minutes late. Both Nick and myself were very late to hop in here, and we only had like 90 seconds of pre-live conversation. So we're gonna do it all live. We're gonna do it all on camera for you guys. We're gonna run.
Excuse both of us were extremely late. I mean, I was ready to go. You're the one who texted me saying I'm gonna be late.
Nick may or may not have been unable to come in here because he didn't have the link until like 1:14 p.m. But he did have the link before 1:15. I will say that. Anyways, just to cover a couple logistic things. Generally speaking, we would have a guest right now. We do have a guest lined up. We did have one lined up ready to go for today, but we're going to keep it pushing. They were unable to make it. We will have them on the next episode. Maybe we'll end up saying who that was, who it will be, but for now, I'm going to leave it a mystery. Very excited for the special guest. Very glad that they're able to reschedule 2 weeks out.
Yeah, no, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun having them on. So definitely mark your calendars. 2 weeks from today, PokeFlipz with a special guest.
Yep. And then we generally we do the Q&A thing as we always do. Leave your questions in chat. We'll get to them as we're able to. But we usually run till about 4:15 Eastern. We usually run 3 hours. We're going to try to dial it back to maybe 2.5 hours today. 3:45 will be the end time. Nick and I both have places to be, things to do. It is heading into a busy weekend, I'm sure, for both of us. So, yeah.
Yeah, we
Nick,
we got more important things to do than hanging out with you people.
Yeah. What do you think about the title of the video? I titled it Reprint Season. I think it's in the backs or the fronts of the mind of everyone in the space. I've seen it in a lot of titles and a lot of thumbnails. I've seen a lot of people talking about it. So, we've got to talk about it too. How are you navigating for your live streaming business? Like, are you running light on inventory right now in anticipation of everything being reprinted across the board? Or what are you kind of doing? What are you speculating? Or do you have like the list of, exactly what's coming and when? Let us know.
I wish. I don't know. I don't know anymore. For the lives, it's more so just business as usual, I guess. If I run low on a certain pack, I'm buying it, paying more than I would through distribution. But I need them for the lives, so I'm trying not to let everything run out.
What's your minimum amount? Sorry to cut you off, but like how many of a normal pack? Obviously, like 151s, things like that. Evolving Skies, it might be a different number if they're harder to get, more expensive, but maybe it's a bigger number. But yeah, what's like a reasonable amount of each set you try to keep?
So like Sword and Shield, I got like 50 Sword and Shield base packs, like 100 Battle Styles packs, stuff that doesn't sell very often. I won't carry many of, but then ones that I have a ton of, like that I just got through distribution, I'll just hold on to those. Like Scarlet and Violet base, I got a ton of those. And I don't really want to sell those as bulk lots on eBay just because eventually they'll sell. But then it really just varies. Like Paldea Evolved is usually a good set. So I recently bought a bunch of the three pack blisters. I got about 1,000 packs of those just because that's a good set. And I figured where there's no booster boxes anymore, the 3-pack blisters will probably be the next thing to go because that's the cheapest pack cost. And then I even more recently bought a ton of I think I got like 2,000 Crown Zenith packs with the what's that product called? The Sam's Club product that just released. Someone
Sea and
bought a bunch.
Sky.
Yeah, Sea and Sky. Someone had bought a
Tyrone
bunch
actually.
of those.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so we're buying and breaking down Sea and Sky boxes to sell loose Crown. Absolutely, 100%.
I started that comment because I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I recently bought a bunch of Crown Zenith packs off of someone who bought a bunch of boxes. Luckily broke them down for me, and I bought the loose packs. But yeah, you're getting packs for, I think it's like $2.85 a pack, and I was running dangerously low on Crown Zenith, so I bought them. I should have waited like a week because I bought them at $4.25 a pack. And now they're down to like $3.80 a pack. So I could have gotten a better price, but that's okay. We're both still making money. Crown Zenith does really well for me on the lives. So those will definitely sell. But yeah, really the only thing that I desperately need right now is 151. And hopefully I'll be getting some more 151 in the near future with all the Walmart restocks of the booster bundles. So that'll be good right there. But as far as like Pokemon reprinting anything through distribution for us, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I feel like we would have seen something by now. Homie price 15 a pack. Thanks, BB.
I'll go 14. I'll go 14. And yes, I am doing streaming research live.
Yes, I saw you in there. I feel like we would have heard something through distribution by now about getting our numbers in, or these boxes going to be available soon, or something. But we haven't heard anything. And the limited reprints that we have seen are like, they did like Crown Zenith mini tins, they did 151 mini tins. They did 151 booster bundles, but they were all combined with like absolute garbage stuff that you had to buy a ton of, and you would get like 2 cases of 151 booster bundles. So it just wasn't worth it in my opinion. So I didn't do any of that. We got the Scarlet Violet base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames ETB reprint. Again, I didn't do any of that. So I don't know if we are gonna get these massive reprints anymore. I almost think that Pokemon's like so far behind, and I assume they know that these next couple of sets are gonna be really, really popular. So will they have time to go back and reprint all these sets? Or are they just gonna focus on these new sets coming out? I almost think that they're just going to focus on the new sets. It will be interesting to see.
You heard it here first. No reprints are coming for anything. Buy 5-pack lots live tonight before they go out of stock on Old School Pokemon on eBay. I think, as they always do, they will omit a few sets here or there. I think they always like to keep us guessing whether or not they're printing so much. I mean, they're printing 1 billion cards a month, right, per last year's numbers. I think something is being reprinted, but the question always is, like, there's always several questions. I'll try to work through them as quickly as possible. Which sets are they reprinting? I'm going to say a lot of them, not all of them. How will they actually deliver them to us? Will they put them on PokemonCenter.com? As they did with, like, what was that, Fusion Strike, or was that whatever set it was a few weeks ago? It got dropped in Limit 6, and it's like free tendies for whoever is able to snatch the link and grab them first. So some amount of this stuff, and that only applies if it's like at MSRP or near MSRP or above, right? They have the Pokemon Center pipeline. Then they have Sam's Club. Clearly, they just reprinted. They printed a lot of Crown Zenith, and instead of doing ETBs, instead of hitting up Nick and myself, our distributors, with millions of packs worth of Crown Zenith, however much they do, instead of that route, they went to a new, like, I don't think that was a product we ever got, right? That doesn't look familiar. The Sea and Sky, that must be like a Sam's Club exclusive. So they did this Sam's Club exclusive, tons and tons of Crown Zenith packs, but we're not getting the ETBs through distribution. We're not getting the mini tins. We're not getting the whatever things we normally got in those. So yeah, like, I think almost all of it will be reprinted, but will it actually hit the booster box? Will it actually hit the ETBs? I would just be entirely guessing. I mean, I'm entirely guessing anyways, but and then even if it does, so say they did like Twilight Masquerade's the big one right now, right? Like 120, 130 a box, still well under MSRP, but it's well above what sets usually are a couple months after release. They might restock it. They might reprint it, restock it at distribution, and then Nick and I get messages from our distributors, hey, how many do you want at 110 a piece? It's like sub-market, but above wholesale. That's a thing that happens historically. That's a thing that happens quite frequently. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen at this point, but like if they reprinted Evolving Skies booster boxes, there's a pretty solid shot that our distributors would call us up and say, hey, how much Evolving Skies do you want at 600 a box or 500 a box? Like, we're probably not going to get it at 88.50 or 89.50, whatever I used to pay for Sword and Shield sets back in the day. We're probably not going to get it at 96, 92, 96, 90, depending on who you are, what you pay. So yeah, I think almost everything Scarlet Violet era will be reprinted to some extent. I think there will be fresh printing of every set, but it just seems like they're doing more one and done with, like, not necessarily one and done, but they're doing less hammering down on the booster boxes again. What was it, 2-3 years ago? They came through and they hit really hard Vivid and Darkness and Chilling and Battlestar. Like, they hit tons of things all at once. Maybe they didn't like how the market reacted to that. Maybe they determined that selling more through Amazon, Sam's Club, GameStop, selling more through these big brick and mortar retailers, maybe that makes more sense for them. I no idea. None of us surely have any idea what their sale cost is when they're selling to Alliance or Mad Al or Southern versus what their sale price is when they're selling a product like this to like Sam's Club. It would be very interesting to know that information, but I don't think we will ever get it. And I think just before I went into that response, Java gifted 20. Appreciate you as always, Java. Definitely go check out his channel. He does a lot of live streams. He does some call-in shows. He does a lot of different content. Good stuff. But yeah,
do you think we'll get more? Do you think we'll get booster box reprints? That's kind of how I was taking it. I can definitely see smaller, like ETB, collection box, all that stuff. But booster boxes, I don't know if I can see it anymore. I don't know.
I think we will. I don't think, like, I think I made a short. I ripped it out of one of my live streams like 5-6 weeks ago. I think that there will be a $250, $300 Scarlet and Violet era booster box within like a year or two. I think that I think they consciously do it. I think they like to see one random set from each era just run and go nuts because it always leaves us guessing. It leaves us ordering more just in case this is the next one. Like, I don't know how many people are being serious about it. I don't know how many people are being like tongue in cheek about it, whatever. But Twilight Masquerade being the next Evolving Skies, this being the next Evolving, like, it's always what's the next Evolving Skies, what's the next team up, what's the next evolutions, what's the next. That is to some extent by design, I think. Maybe that's just my tinfoil hat talking, but I really think that some of that goes on. But yeah, I don't know how many of each, and the biggest thing that it comes down to for me is, like, we can talk and talk and talk, and we will for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes. We'll be talking. What are we walking? What are we actually doing? So I actually need to take a fresh inventory because I've just been like throwing stuff all over the place, trying to get ready for live streaming. And I had some big bulk, like wholesale type sales to other people with other things. So my inventory is just a mess again, but I have at least 12 cases of every Scarlet Violet era set. SV base all the way up through Twilight Masquerade. I would like that number to be higher. And I'm not like falling over myself to sell my Twilight Masquerade. If anyone follows my eBay very closely, I think I put up 6 or 8 cases of Twilight Masquerade last month through like a daily deal. So the price that I sold it for, I actually partially subsidized basically because of the daily deal. But anyways, I am holding tight on all my stuff. I'm not like fire selling through anything in anticipation of a reprint, but I'm also like not going out and trying to buy 50 cases of every set because I'm super confident like no booster boxes are ever coming. So that's where I'm at. I have a decent bit of inventory and I'm not selling it. I'm not in a rush to sell it. When I do get live streaming up and running, my live stream packs, which I think Nick, I think you can touch on your side of it too. It's primarily going to be Crown Zenith packs. Well, Crown Zenith is like you have to break down something anyways because there's no booster box. So that's a bad example. But like when I sell Twilight Masquerade packs on stream, most of them won't be booster boxes. Most of them will be broken down booster bundles or ETBs or various collection box products. Most of that, like very rarely will I be doing live streams. And if I am doing that, it will be like shown that way. It will be advertised as like, hey, an entire sealed booster box, you will be getting that versus if you're buying like 5-10 pack lots. I think for the most part, like unless I just run light on something and like Scarlet Violet, I would feel comfortable just ripping open booster boxes for the packs because I can order more replaced from my distributor, but most other sets I can't right now. So yeah, we can talk about what we think might happen. And I think the YouTube space is filled with people who are doing very little, like they have very little product, they have very little information, they have very little knowledge on any of this stuff, and they're just talking and talking and talking. But when you listen to somebody like, hey, what are you actually doing? I think that's more valuable. I think that's significantly more valuable. So like, what are you doing with your 5-6 figures of inventory? That is what I am always interested in hearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree with you on that one. And yeah, for the live stuff, it's definitely I do the same thing. I'll break down all like the collection boxes, ETBs, like the sleeve boosters, all that stuff, and sell those as a single packs. And then also have booster boxes if people want to buy a whole box. But rarely is it me breaking open a booster box to sell 1 or 2 packs.
Do you buy a lot lately? I've been finding myself not even ordering the sleeve boosters anymore. I've been really winding down how many of the 3-pack blisters that I order anymore. I pretty much just go booster boxes and ETBs lately. Like I think my pre-order stuff for Surging Spark, which is like November, in like a week we're getting Stellar, right? Next Friday is Stellar?
Yes, Stellar's next Friday.
And then it's like 2 months-ish from now is Surging Spark. I think Surging Spark, I think I have like 40 cases on order, booster cases, and I think I have like 300 ETBs. I might not have gotten any sleeve boosters or 3-pack blisters, or I think I did do booster bundles, but I really like honing in on just a small amount of SKUs, all these different things, like so much of my like hoarding backlog, and a lot of it's worked out well for me historically, but and some of it maybe was I was a smaller account and you had to order more of the random stuff to get the allocations up, blah blah whatever. But I'm really like stopping doing that. I don't know if they'll start to punish me because of it. I don't know if they'll start giving me like, will I get less of the Dragon set? Will I get less of the Eevee set? Will I get? So far, it hasn't seemed to be an issue. But like when that really juicy thing comes along, will it hurt me? I don't really know. But at this point, like I'm happier having my orders, not having 8 random 3-pack blister cases that I know I won't be able to sell at a margin. That I know if I were to break them down, one, it's tedious. 2, it's like, sorry, Earth, all that packaging stuff. I posted recently. I broke down 200 ETBs last weekend. And just the space, the time, it's such a pain. It's such a pain.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It definitely is. I stopped ordering all that extra stuff. So like you, mainly focused on booster boxes and ETBs. For Surging Sparks, though, ideally, I'll be in Chicago for when that set releases. And once I'm out there, I want to start getting back into the mass openings. So I increased my booster boxes, my ETBs, and then I also started ordering again all that other stuff, the sleeve boosters, the check lanes. So that way I have more packs to open.
Let's see. Yeah, well, one, I'll be hopefully you are in Chicago for Collecticon, because that'll be nice. That'll be cool to have. How far are you looking, like, from where it is? Are you a ways?
Oh, that I don't even know. I have no idea. I think Walrus said like 20 minutes.
You're looking at an apartment and you hadn't even seen how far it is from the airport and how far it is from, like,
convention center. No,
isn't the convention center like at the airport? Isn't it like right? I think it's like right there, right?
I think it's like 10 minutes away. It's really close.
Dan, if I move to New York, can I be your walrus? I was actually posting Zillow listings the other day for the Pokenomics Patreon office hour thing. I was trying to get people to relocate. That said, I primarily want like off-site 1099 independent contractors, not W-2 employees on site. But I'm definitely, I don't know if I need everything Walrus does, but I'm definitely looking for streamers. I'm definitely looking for Chill Java. Dan's married. I guess Nick and Walrus have more going on than we realize with that remark. But I'm absolutely looking for people looking to stream. That's the main thing. And I guess Walrus doesn't do that. So what I'm looking for is not a Walrus. Walrus has confirmed that with this remark. But yeah, I see a ton of questions rolling in. I'm trying to get everything started. We got a good backlog building. Who says, I swear I convinced you to get sleeve boosters? I have them from a lot of past sets, but like when you get a sleeve booster case, do you sell 5-pack lots at any kind of a premium because they're sleeve boosters, or do you just break down ahead of time before you even stream? Do you literally just so you break them down ahead of time? You're just doing that extra work, recycling that extra cardboard.
It takes up so much space. It's not worth having them as sleeve boosters.
You're paying more to do more work, and you're gonna sell them the same way anyways. Like that's the issue that I have with it.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time with it because of that.
I'm the same way. The only reason I'm ordering it is because I want to start getting more, and I don't know. I wish they would tell you could get this many booster boxes, no problem. But it's such a mystery. Like, I've been getting exactly what I'm ordering for a while, but now that I want to increase my orders, I don't know if I'm going to get it. So I went for this set. I went with everything just in case. But if I get everything, I'm going to have so much.
It's not as bad. I still remember Vivid Voltage was like one of the worst offenders. I remember the phone call with my rep where everyone was playing the same game. Everyone knew that it was going to be scaled back to like a % thing. So he's like, how many of the Vivid Voltage build and battle kits do you want? And it's like, at this point, I think we already knew that it was going to be Snorlax, Lugia, Charizard, and then Donphin, I believe, was the fourth. But like 3 heavy hitters. I'm like, I really want this. This is going to be good. And I think I kind of joked with him on the phone. It's like, do you want to know how much I actually want, or do you want to know the number that I'm going to say because I know that I'm going to get 5 to 25% of what I ask for? And he just kind of like nervously chuckled and like, please don't do that. But I know everyone's doing that. And I gave some silly number. And then I think I got like 6% or something. It was like one of the lowest allocation percentages on anything. Really, really wild. I definitely do miss. I miss back 2014 to 2016 days. I remember we had the same guy, our favorite guy over at Mad Al. You'd send him an email and he'd send you 2 things. He'd send you the in-stock list of what they had there. And then he'd send you what he could still order from Pokemon itself. And I remember I used to ask him like, hey, let me know when it's last call for this, last call for that. And I'd scoop up a lot of things like last minute, last call, last wave, whatever. I remember doing that with Evolutions a bunch. Crazy times. And it's so much different and it's so much worse. I hate it too. I'm looking at my pre-orders now. Let me get both sites pulled up. I do kind of want to get a third, especially once I start the live streaming. That could chew through a lot of product. But I ordered 200 booster bundles, which that's individual booster bundles. That's not like displays or cases. I ordered 30 cases from one distributor, so 180 boxes of Surging Sparks. And annoyingly, I'm paying $92.50. So I'm pledging up front to order 30 cases of product. I don't pay until it actually ships. I believe like Safari Zone, I believe some of these other sites are doing like 90 or 91 a box if you order like 4 cases minimum, because you can ship 4 cases in a 20 by 12 by 12 that weighs like 48 pounds, so you don't get dinged with the overweight thing with UPS or USPS.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, I have like a $25,000 order out there with Surging Sparks with one distributor, and I'm paying above what it's pre-selling for on the open market. It's like, what a crazy time we're in. I still overall prefer like dealing with the distributor, getting it all from one place, knowing that it's coming, knowing that it's reliable, not getting pre-orders canceled if prices go up, all that stuff. But like it really is pretty wild. Let me see my other I just wanted to see what my other distributor was. So my other distributor booster displays is 110. That's not even a round number. I hate when they it doesn't. It's not divisible by 6. It would either be 96, 102, 108. I hate when they do that. This one distributor is notorious for giving me like 39 ETBs. It's like, please don't. Please just give me 30. Please give me 40. Please use common sense. Give me 40. But like, I will take 30 if you're trying to allocate me 39. What are we doing? 90.84 a box. Yeah, is Safari was in the 540s for Surging shipped. Crazy. And happy birthday, Java. Yes, happy birthday. I'm in a group chat with Java and some other people. We're all trying to lose some weight through this year, so we got a little challenge. I actually didn't realize the challenge was for like the first Collecticon, I think they said. I'm going for like I'm going for year end. I need to be 225, and then at Rusty's I need to be like easily dunking. Those are my metrics. Those are my SMART goals. Dunking is the big part of it for me. I really at 6'4" I should be able to dunk, and the fact that I can't is bad. And I'm gonna fix that.
You're already pushing this challenge back because you know you're gonna lose. Is that what it is?
Well, no. The weight thing, like me personally, 225 by the end of the year. That is fixed. I think that's like they said something about timing it. I think Java said it on stream or something. Timing it with the first Collecticon, which is like February usually. I'm timing mine with the weight thing is January 1st, and then the other thing is like sometime in the early summer, whenever various Collecticons that have basketball hoops will take place. That's when my other one is set up by. But yeah, it looks like I have a backlog of 7 questions. If you've asked a question, we're probably going to take a little while to get to it, but I have started. I believe I caught everything. So yeah, let's start going through the backlog. So Basic says, serious question. What is the most efficient and accurate way to comp thousands of cards, 1996 to 2016? If we're talking commons, uncommons, rares, bulk non-hollows, there are bulk non-hollow prices by era. Like Nick might be able to touch on that a little bit more when we get to him. But yeah, like pull out what is not bulk. Pull out, I highly doubt we're talking thousands of gold stars, thousands of like old school EXs. So pull out the bulk. There's going to be bulk rates for that stuff. And then the good stuff, I mean, TCG Player has an app where you can just scan it and it will show you what the TCG Player near mint, LP, whatever is. That's card by card though. So like it's not optimal for thousands. if we're actually legitimately talking about thousands of cards that are worth a lot of money, you kind of just have to have a feel for it. A similar thing would apply. Pull out the things that are super top tier, pull out the things that might be worth grading, yada, yada. And then the things that aren't, there's probably like numbers. There's probably numbers for like bulk EX era reverse hollows, bulk EX era full hollows that are near mint, maybe LP to near mint, but not worth grading. And that would be like, if you're talking power keepers, Charizard would be in an echelon above. If you're talking certain sets, they'd be in an echelon above. You take those aside. But yeah, there's going to be bulk numbers for most of it. Aside from that, alt for getting all the recent comps on eBay, eBay, Heritage, Golden, Fanatics, and then TCG Player for all the non-gradable stuff and all the raw stuff. What do you think on that?
Have you used Rare Candy's scanning feature?
Nope.
Have you heard of that?
I feel like I heard something about it.
It's always on Instagram. That's actually a cool tool. Because it's not accurate all the time, so you do have to be careful. But it is pretty accurate in most cases, as long as everything's near mint. Once you get into like conditioning cards, that's when you got to be more careful. But if you're doing stuff that's near mint, it's actually a really quick process. It's basically the TCG Player scanner, except it actually works, and it's actually quick. So that would be another route you could go. But yeah, like Dan said, all the bulky stuff, take that out, and then even all like if you break it down by era, like base through Team Rocket, most of your hollows are gonna be you can price most of those at like $10, because most of them are like $15 to $20. So if you're buying the collection, that's typically what I do. Do like your Mucks, your Vaporeons, your Magnetons at $5, and then all the other ones at $10. And then you're really only having to look up your Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, Legendary Birds, Evolutions, all that stuff. So the more you kind of get to know what you can get for cards, it makes it a lot quicker to price collections. But if you don't know pricing, then I would say the Rare Candy app, honestly. Java just pointed out, which I did not know, it's only on iPhone. But if you don't have an iPhone, you should probably just leave the hobby. You're not worthy to be here if you don't have an iPhone.
As someone without an iPhone, I don't feel like I'm missing out that much. Well, one, having an iPhone, and I definitely don't feel like I'm missing out not having the Rare Candy app either. I don't know. From time to time, they've had some juice there, and I've gone and I've placed some bids. I've won a couple things, but like overall, I'm not super bullish on Rare Candy's long-term future. I think they have some really great inventory as of right now, but like I don't see them unless they just keep, maybe through their connections, they just keep buying crazy one-off collections time and time again, and then they keep enough juice to keep it going. But I don't know.
I think this Fanatics Live, because like Rare Candy's thing is like live, quote unquote, live auctions. But with Fanatics starting lives, if they start doing like their premiere auctions like live and have someone like do like Heritage almost, I think they're gonna give Rare Candy a run for their, not that Rare Candy is like a big company, but I think they'll give Rare Candy more of a run for their money.
Fanatics is going to give eBay a run for their money, I think.
No.
They already have a higher market cap. They're 10 years from now, they'll be buying eBay. They'll be buying the scraps that are left of eBay.
Absolutely not.
No, by no means do I think that'll happen. But I'm clearly, I'm not 100% decided yet on whether I'm going to go the bulk of my live streaming through Fanatics. Like I looked earlier. Most times that I look, the majority of times that I take a peek, there is no one actively live streaming on Fanatics streaming Pokemon. Maybe that's for a reason
right now. Is Fanatics Live a thing right now?
Yeah. Fanatics Live is.
I didn't even know it was active right now. I thought it was coming soon.
Just like eBay, it's there, but like it's not super there. Actually, as I say that, there's 2 people live right now. Going Twice is live right now, breaking Pokemon. And Rizzo Sports is live right now, breaking Pokemon. But a lot of times that I look, there's 0 or maybe 1 people live streaming it at the time. I'm contemplating doing Fanatics, but maybe people aren't doing it for a reason. Maybe it'll be super dark. One thing, though, that I think a lot of people in this space aren't really even aware of, if you have a PSA membership, you have a big credit to Fanatics Live. You actually have a decent amount of money. Don't go spend it yet. Wait for me to be up and rolling on Fanatics Live. I'll probably drop a short. Sometime before I go live for the first time, saying like, hey, if you have a PSA membership and you know who I am and follow me, come get $125 worth of free stuff. Come spend your coupon over with me. But obviously that's not like a long-term sustainable thing. It would need to be actually people being there, not just to redeem coupons that they didn't realize they had. But I realize I have basics comment up here, and we kind of covered that and aren't really talking about it anymore. But yeah, I think it'll be a combination of both eBay and Fanatics. Whatnot is also there, but I don't think I'm going to start there. I think I'm going to start on Fanatics and eBay and see where they go, and then just kind of reevaluate as I go on the fly.
I'm telling you, I think Fanatics for you.
Nick's just trying to keep me away from him.
I promise I'm not. How do you even get to the Fanatics live?
It's fanatics.live.
Oh,
If you just eBay search, or if you Google search Fanatics Live, it's it's the first result. Internet person actually said they checked Fanatics Live because I got $3 from PSA. It was painful having to spend the money. It might having to spend. It's like they're definitely built for sports. They're primarily built for sports. They call everything. They just have a weird terminology. They sell everything as spots. I don't think you can create, like, you know how you have the carousel on the bottom. I don't think you can really have one. I don't think you can have pictures. It's all just text. But you could put like 5-pack lots of 151, but you have to sell it as like spots. So I can't do a listing for like 100 quantity 5-pack lots of 151, and then you just click buy on it. I think I have to sell a break of 151 that has 5-pack lots, 100 spots of 5-pack lots. Like, they just call it differently, which is kind of weird. I think it's more of a understand it and known terminology in like the sports space, because you're buying a certain team, you're buying a certain whatever it may be. But maybe on the back end, maybe you actually can change more things. I genuinely don't know. Like right now, I'm watching Going Twice break Shrouded Fable 6-pack lots. A lot of them do bounties and stuff. I don't intend on doing. I like how you do the rip till you hit. I like how you have the 5-packs. Most of the time, they're gonna get one just on their own. But like. Yep. What's the longest you've ever gone on a rip till you hit?
Oh, God. We had one time it was like 23 packs.
Oh, really? Holy crap. That's crazy.
No, there's been a few times where it's bad. But usually it's maybe like 1 or 2 more. For the most part, people get something within the first 5 packs. Very rarely is it more than like 2 or 3.
Dan is clearly scorned by eBay. The cope is palpable. I will be open. I will be honest. Some amount of it is saltiness. Some amount of it, but I'm not gonna be like dumb about business. If they can make me the most money, I will do most of my business there. As of right now, it is not that situation. If it becomes evident that that's the place for live streams, I will be there. Absolutely. Definitely. Go ahead.
Oh, and now what are the viewer count numbers on Fanatics? Like I'm watching Going Twice and it says there's 45 people.
Yep.
Is there 45 people in the stream right now? Or
yeah,
is that like eBay?
That's not like eBay's is. That would be super dark if only 45 people had been in there in total. That's one thing that kind of annoys me by eBay. Like why just? I mean, bigger numbers, bigger money. Like we like big numbers. I get it.
Yeah.
but it is a little bit weird. So many people, like I think on Whatnot, on Fanatics, on all the, I think Drip, I think on all these other live streaming sites, you get a number, and that's how many people are in there. Then you go into eBay and you see, oh, 1,000. I thought, like, eBay's popping. I think that's by design. I think that's why they did it.
Oh,
Can't you see though?
100%.
On your end, you can see the real number though, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, what's a standard weeknight, or I guess like weekday? 45 on a weekday right now, 2 p.m. on a Friday.
Really good.
It is going twice. Like, going twice is a legitimate huge operation. They are crushing it on every platform. It's not like some random Joe Schmo.
Yeah. No, I haven't done weekdays in a very long time, but when I was doing my Wednesday afternoons, it would be like 25 active viewers, 20, 25. Now during night, like my night lives, there's usually about 60 active viewers. Friday and Saturday nights are a little bit more, maybe 70, 80. It was funny. Last Saturday I did like a pregame show for PokeChef, and I posted on Instagram saying I was going to be doing giveaways. I titled the eBay Live giveaways, and I had like 120 active viewers in there.
Yeah, it viewers is the right word though. I would not use the word customers or buyers when you advertise things in that fashion. We did it once on PokeFlipz. You remember? I think it was back when PokeFlipz was on our own channels. We did that holiday thing of, and like I like giving stuff back, but I don't like. You got to be careful. You got to be careful playing with trying to build too much of your following solely off that. Because Java actually, I just listened to one of his things this morning. We've talked about this before too. You got to be careful building solely off giveaways, because there's some amount of people, they're probably sitting at their work, they're probably just popping streams on in the background, they're just entering every sweepstake, every giveaway, every free thing that they can throw their hat into. They're doing that, and they don't have a credit card on their account. They're never going to buy anything. They're just they're there while the free stuff's there, and then they're gone. They're gone the next day. Dan, when is your first stream? We want to do a whole giveaway while you're live. Oh man, that's funny. Java won a Hidden Fates ETB during that giveaway. But yeah, it is interesting how eBay chooses to just show the big number. They have the small number. They just don't show that. With OBS, I mean, you could put that on screen if you wanted to, right? Have you ever thought about doing that or no?
No. I like having I have the heart count. I like having that on there. The view count, I don't think I would ever put that on there. Because then if there's like a ton of viewers, people might get discouraged that they're not going to win anything. If there's too few viewers, people might know that they're going to get a good deal.
Nick likes to obfuscate, just like eBay.
If people ask, I tell them. People ask all the time how many people are actually in here, and I'll tell them. It was actually funny. I still got to email eBay about this, but right now eBay is set up where you schedule an event, and your notification for that event goes off at the time that you set the event. So I had an event set at 8:00 p.m. and I didn't actually go live until like 8:03. So because my event was scheduled for 8:00, the notification went out, but there was nowhere to send people to. So by the time I went live, there was no notification, and I had like 20 people in the stream. And I thought, well, okay, maybe people will slowly trickle in, because I'm live every single day at 8:00. You'd think in a year in, people would know my schedule. But no, after a half hour, it was like 25 people. So I said, okay, we're going to end this stream. I'll create a new one, and then we'll do it again. And so I ended that stream, created a new one. Within the first minute of that new stream being active, I had like 40, 45 people in there.
So the push notification is big.
Well, not even the push notification, just like the regular notification.
Yeah, I'm not saying like a broad one that goes to everyone,
yeah.
just to your followers, the default one.
Yeah, exactly. It's massive, which I did not realize how big it was or how important it was.
Don't show up at 8:03 anymore, mister.
Well, it's stupid how eBay does that. They should make it so the what the notification goes out when you go live. So if you have the stream scheduled at 8 and you don't go live till 8:03, the notification doesn't go out until 8:03. It's stupid how they make it so the notification goes out exactly when you have it scheduled.
Well, I feel better now because we have 49 live viewers and we were 3 minutes late. So if we went live on time, we'd easily have like 250. We'll have to hit that in 2 weeks with our special guest.
Yes, yes.
It gets hard to display both numbers. If you can remove eBay's number, then it could make sense. Oh, so is eBay's number like hard coded in there? Like you don't have that on your end in OBS? Can you block that?
I think no, I don't think you can. I think eBay's number would show up above it. So even if you put it where the eBay number is, I think eBay's number would show over it.
Yeah, like I still have that Rizzo Sports up. They have 18 live viewers right now on Fanatics Live doing Pokemon. And they have in the top left, they have like the live symbol. Then it has 18. Presumably, that's not something on that guy's computer in his OBS. That is something that kind of like our StreamYard thing here, Nick, that you and I can see, but they can't see. We see our live viewers, we see our live count. I didn't put that there. I can't remove that. But I don't. Yeah, that doesn't make it through to the stream either.
I think you can only see that. I only see live and the amount of time we've been live. So like 46:22.
Oh, you don't see the 43 live viewers?
No, I have no idea how many people are in here.
Okay. I mean, you can see it on YouTube, obviously, but like I see it in here too. I see a little eyeball thing and then 43. I said there were 49 people and then 6 people scurried away. So I need to quit talking about. Now it's 41. I need to quit talking about the number.
Everyone's leaving.
Yeah. Here we go. Pokemon DK says, if not asked already, what are your thoughts on the sudden appearance and dumping of these alpha and beta Pokemon cards at auction? I will let you answer this first, and I will also throw in his follow-up. Is Nick bidding on the Ninetales alpha and beta? Technically, they're shadowless.
So no, not gonna be bidding on any of those. I don't. Those cards scare me. Those cards are very, very scary to me. I almost think where we're seeing so many of them pop up on every auction platform right now, I think there's a lot of those cards out there. And the person who's selling them is rapidly selling them because he knows that there's a ton of them out there and he wants to sell as many as possible before people realize just how many are out there. Not like I would highly doubt there's like hundreds of each, but I would imagine there's multiple sets of each. I have absolutely no idea if that's the case or not, but yeah, I don't like. I think they're really cool. It's a cool part of Pokemon history, but I also think there could be a lot of that stuff out there. And for those cards to be getting CGC 10s, CGC Pristine 10s, you know that these examples weren't play tested. They were made and just nothing ever happened to them. So you have these high grade examples that were printed and not actually play tested. And then you probably still have examples that were actually play tested. So yeah, that just makes me think that there's a lot of these cards out there. So I think they're cool. I would never buy one myself. A lot of people say, like, have the argument that it's possible that they're fake. I almost feel like if CGC is willing to put their name behind it, they've got to have done enough research to know for certain that they are actually real. I can't imagine CGC would be willing to put like their whole reputation on the line to authenticate these cards without having like concrete evidence that they are in fact real. So I don't necessarily believe that either.
Yeah, I like you. I'm not really a consumer of them. Theoretically, if there were 100 of each, and like I'm a Charmander guy, there are certain characters that I like, certain species that I like. If over the next decade 100 of each come out, and if I'm able to pick one up for like $500 of some cool ones, maybe. Like there's a number. As with almost anything, there's a number where I would start to like them enough. But right now, the market likes them a lot more than I do. I primarily, like going back to my early collector boy Dan days, I like stuff that you can get out of a pack. I like stuff that was kind of intended for the primary market. I am not a big error guy. I'm not a big prototype history type guy. Like I think it's cool, interesting. Like, yeah, show me a picture. Let's talk about it a little bit, but nowhere near. Like I don't value those cards anywhere near to where the market does. And that's where one thing gets interesting, because like some amount of people just get so upset over numbers and transactions that don't affect them. I'm going to use this to do my little rant that I do from time to time. Like, I feel like some people get kind of annoyed. Well, I hate these things and they're probably fake. And I'm a Zapdos collector. Or I'm not saying that because Greeny is saying anything like that. But but I'm a this species collector or that species collector, and it's fine to not collect these. Like if you don't like them and the market likes them more than you, that's fine. But like I really believe the whole apparently CGC and Akabane, I believe is the guy's name. They had conversations, some amount of documentation, some amount of records, whatever it may be, some amount of additional, more than just the guy who stands the profit from them. Conversations with other people high up at WotC, or not WotC, Pokemon creatures, wherever these things were made way back in the day in Japan. But no, it's fun to have the speculating conversations, but some people do it from like a very defensive, and maybe I'm misattributing it. Maybe I'm misdiagnosing what they're actually doing, but I'm fairly confident some amount of people just like to spew hate and drama and this and that and tinfoil hat, whatever. The amount of people that just completely discount CGC and everything they do, or any individual grading company, it's just wild. It's like, oh, CGC's on the label, PSA wouldn't touch it because they're such an honorable company, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Walrus said right here, the one that graded the fake autos, like all these companies have the skeletons in their closet. All these companies have issues. But some people just get so weird about it. It's like, if they're not for you, that's fine. But yeah, like CGC's grading them. They're there. If you want them, buy them. If not, I personally don't want them at these prices. If they drop 90% from here, maybe I will. I likely will never own one. They're just not really my thing overall. The market clearly values them more than I do. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. That doesn't mean like they're fake. That doesn't mean just because I don't want them enough. Just like it's just weird. Some of the commentary around it. I don't know what more to say than that. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go. I was gonna say it would be interesting. I think Java mentioned it. In Slab podcast, Oak brought up.
I was going to put that up.
Would these cards be getting as much hate if PSA graded them as opposed to CGC? And I don't think so. I think people would be far more willing to accept it. And then I would also go further and say, would they be getting as much hate if they were still graded by CGC, but instead of Sean being the person involved with these, if it was like Rusty or Zach or someone good in the hobby, would they be getting as much hate? I also don't think so. I think he plays a part in this too.
But to push back on that to some extent, like people would say, and I'm not people here. People would say like, well, if PSA graded them, they would be real. CGC graded them because they're fake, and CGC is a trash company. Like some people have just that weird of a take over it. Some people are like, CGC is awful. They also grade those disputed Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They grade those disputed Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I got into some hot water over. I think James has stopped taking them on consignments. I have one actively on consignments. I don't know that I'm going to take any more. but those like Magic and Wizards, test print Yu-Gi-Oh cards, CGC grades them, PSA won't. Some people tied with PSA are very unhappy about it all, think they're fake, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, it's like CGC did their due diligence. They have a financial guarantee of grade and authenticity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, buy what you want and don't buy what you don't want. And but a lot of people are just so like, more people are this way to PSA naturally, inherently, because PSA is a bigger part of the hobby. They've graded significantly more cards for a significantly longer amount of time. So many people are just PSA fanboys, fangirls. PSA does no wrong. Some people would have other derogatory terms to use on them. PSA bandwagoners, but like very derogatory ways to say that I've heard said many times. There are a lot of those people out there, and some people are that way for CGC, and some people are that way for BGS. It's really, really weird. Some of the division, some of the tribalism that goes on in the hobby, and these cards are just once big numbers get posted, they get posted around Instagram. Emotions get riled up. Emotions cause clicks and all that stuff. And yeah, by no means, Java, am I trying to say don't talk about these things, but like, the way in which some people talk about them is just super weird, in my opinion, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you tap out and selling the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Dan? So I have one. I have one listed right now. At some point, it just becomes like, I had some from one consignor that Fanatics actually declined. Fanatics declined to take them, because they have connections to PSA, who has connections to certain individuals that claim they're fake. And they have all this evidence and blah, blah, blah. PSA doesn't grade them. CGC does. CGC has a financial guarantee. That's the reason that I'm comfortable selling them. eBay, authenticity guarantee. They go through and they pass. So the main reason that I am going to not take any new ones is just because it's not worth it. Like if I were of higher moral character, and if I would be a better person and be willing to go through the frustrations that will come with it, it's just not worth it. Like, to me, they're real enough to me, but they're enough headache that it's just not worth doing. What we're talking about, do I want to continue to deal with 0.0001% of the market by slab volume, by potential revenue, for what was, for 2 weeks of my life, 90% of my headache, 90% of my negative interactions were to do with one card, were to do with one set of very obscure cards. It sucks for the consigners. It sucks for the people who actually did the research, and assuming they're actually real, I guess it's great for everyone if they are actually fake. But like, yeah, I don't know enough to know that. I always just lended that. I outsourced that to CGC, which is what you do with experts in any hobby. You listen to and consult with the experts. So yeah, those cards are just weird. It's not worth the headache that comes with them. Somehow my buy it now is up right now. I've gotten no messages on that. I've gotten no Instagram story tags. If I shouldn't even say it, but like, if they were to start coming in waves, I would just return that card to that person and be done with them probably. Which maybe someone's watching, listening. Maybe someone will get sent this as a clip, and then they will effectively Karen their way out of that card being listed on my eBay at least.
I'm gonna now that I know you have one listed, I'm gonna post a story with the card.
You won't be the first, but you would be the last, I guess, probably. Let's see. Let Walrus auction them. His morality is unmatched. A criminal or a saint's money is worth exactly the same. Oh man, that's funny. So there's all our alpha cards. Let me make sure I have all the alpha card questions answered. To me, they're just not for me. It's like, if you like them, buy them, or like, absolutely, you're free to talk about them. But when people just get like really attacking over it, and it's like, you may or may not like the individuals involved in the line, but I truly believe that they are real, in that CGC has done the due diligence. See, like, again, talk versus walk. We talked about that earlier this stream. Talk versus walk. People will chirp all over the place about all these things. CGC is putting down they're walking the walk. They're putting money behind it, their financial guarantee. So I don't care what random people have to say about it when there's actually a company out there that has done business for decades, maybe only years in trading cards, but decades in comics, and they're putting money behind it. That means something. A company putting money behind it means way more than all this peanut gallery chirping. And most people, myself included, I already said this. Like, I have the money that I could buy them, but most of the people making most of the noise, they're never going to be a buyer of them. They're never going to, they don't even have the money to be. And that might sound elitist. Like, Dan, you're being mean. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Most of the chirps, most of the peanut gallery noise comes from people who couldn't even participate in that market if they wanted to. That's just harsh reality, Dan, right there.
That is true, though. That is very much true.
If you clip it, cover Nick agreeing. If you clip it,
no, I'll leave that out. Leave that
out. make sure the clip ends with Nick's agreement. Just so I'm not on my own there. So we covered that. I thought I had another one I wanted to grab really quickly. Was there another one?
I have another. Well, off topic. Oh no, you still have plenty of starred. Okay.
Oh, I have a ton of starred stuff. I just thought I had another one that was in that vicinity, but maybe not. Oh, I think it was retros, which I did talk about the Yu-Gi-Oh card. So I think I covered it all. So yeah, let's go. Retro wants to know, why are we bearish in any fashion in this market? I personally am not bearish. I might be short on certain things in certain small time frames. I'm short on certain types of plastic, most types of plastic, but like I am long on cardboard. Short plastic, long cardboard. I'm selling my graded slabs. I'm buying and holding short to medium towards, for certain people, 5-10 years is like an eternity term. So maybe I'm holding forever in the minds of certain people, certain sealed products and things like that. So I am bullish. What's your, where are you on the bullish bearish spectrum? I'm full bullish myself.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Same here.
12 billion cards printed last year and very few things in stock at my distributor.
Exactly. Packs being opened every single night. People buying cards every single night. People, it's wild how popular it is, and just how many people are in this hobby. I think we're doing just fine. There is no reason to be bearish right now.
Crap, I missed one. I think I had that feeling because I went through my starred comments, and this is the one that I was trying to find. With the recent appearance of alphas, how high can the Pokemon ceiling keep moving in regards to rarity? All this pumping and dumping of alpha and beta cards make me think something more is coming. One thing I will say to the credit of, I know like Sean Bassick was involved in that, and actually shout out to the Slab podcast. So Greeny and Oak made a podcast with Sean. It got removed for some amount of time, I think over a week. It's actually back up there. I know some amount of things went on with that, with certain relationships between him and people that we know and they know and all that. But I don't think anything like the topic of conversation within the podcast wasn't the issue. It's just certain people not liking the guest, I guess. But anyways, Sean showed and talked about a handful of those different alpha beta cards. And I think he himself said, I don't want to take him out of context. I don't want to misattribute it. Go watch the podcast yourself if you want the context. But like he said somewhere, he didn't say these are one of one, come buy them now. Like he's not running Instagram ads. He's not like shouting from the rooftops. These are the rarest things. You're only going to see them once. Like I don't see any kind of advertising aside from just people on Instagram, people in Pokemon podcasts. Like I just see organic people talking about them because they're there. As far as I understand and as far as I see, they got sent to Heritage, they got sent to Golden, they got sent to Rare Candy, to all, they got sent to all over. But like, I don't see, to his credit, I don't see him saying like, these are a one-off thing, buy them now or you'll miss them forever. I don't see like some scummy used car salesman type upselling on them personally. Maybe it's there, maybe I'm just not seeing it, but I don't see it at all. It's just like bid on them or don't bid on them. And he did say within that podcast somewhere, he said something along the lines of there are multiple iterations of these, multiple like different steps, the alpha, the beta, the pre, this, the all different steps in the stage. And I want to say he said there's multiple quantity of most of them. I don't think he said there's like hundreds or thousands, but he might have used the word couple, few, several. I don't remember exactly. I probably should have rewatched that before I answered this, but he said somewhere in that podcast that there are like multiples to some extent. And personally, like even if there are 50 of each, like they're still in the higher upper echelon of one thing that comes up with all these different trophy cards is how many were intended to be awarded and extra copies and this and that. Like almost no card in the hobby will you ever have a concrete 100%. This is exactly how many cards were released. But yeah, that's just like inherent to anything in this space. There's always going to be, they're going to print a whole sheet or print some amount extra just in case something goes wrong. But yeah, that I just wanted to say, like, if people want further history context on these, there is a podcast out there where the main guy that sourced them from Akabane, as far as I understand, is talking about them.
I gotta watch that one. I haven't seen that one yet.
Dan getting food, the best marketing appears organic. Cue that cue that meme. You guys are getting paid for this? Like here I am advertising them, talking about them. I'm not getting paid. Maybe Slab got paid. Maybe all these like, but there are a lot of affiliate links going on. So I guess those are hashtag ad. But yeah, maybe it's the perfect crime, the perfect advertising campaign that I feel it's grassroots. I feel it's normal, but I truly think that's the case. But we can't help ourselves but talk about the same things that everyone's talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And those are making the rounds. Everyone's got to pitch in their 2 cents on how much. Like my funniest thing is always like, what do you think they're gonna go for, Mr. Broke person that can't afford these, that never is gonna buy these? It's like it's so weird. Like again, some people won't like the way that I say it, but people that are not going to interact in the market, some by choice, some by they can't feasibly interact in the market even if they wanted to. Throwing in like it's one thing if you just say I would value it this much, but one of my favorite things too is like I would pay that if I had the money. You don't have the money because you would pay that. It's like the amount of times that I get that at Collecticon. Oh, you have this card, $300. I would buy that right now if I had the money. That's why you don't have the money, because you bought the last 30 things that you said you would do that for. And it's just really funny to me. Like, absolutely, you are allowed to say what you think it would go for. Absolutely, we can speculate. We can have, but some people get really like, there is no way that will ever go for under this or over this. It's one thing to say, random shot in the dark. It might go for 25 grand. It might go for between 5 and 50 grand. But some people get really, really like, that is like that. No way it could go for this. This other card is this, so it can't go higher than that. This other card is this, so it can't go lower than that. And then they get like mad and weird when it goes too high, too low, too whatever. It's like that's always so odd, but so common too.
Yeah, people get way too worked up.
Yeah, I'm getting worked up about how worked up people get. I'm getting riled up. I'm getting rowdy.
Oh man.
Let's see. So I think that closes that out. Walrus has one more. Y'all think Akabane is the biggest leaker in history and he is blacklisted by Pokemon? I think I heard speculation on that came from like E4 maybe, that he might have bad relationships with the Pokemon company and this and that. And I have no idea. The cards are there. The cards are graded by CGC. There's a financial guarantee. I like to stick with more of the known things. We do get into speculation here and there, but SwolePoke, I'm assuming this is a typo for SwolePoke, said that he talked to Akabane, and Akabane said, when we get into so much, he said, she said, this and the other thing, like I saw something about there's a fake Akabane account out there. How many of these people were talking to the wrong? I'm quite confident that CGC would have talked to people, would have vetted people. Like when it's he said, she said, my neighbors, uncles, brothers, cousins, dog trainer. said that he heard that this was not that was the wrong guy. That's what I don't like doing. It's so weird. It's so like CGC put their word behind them. They put their money behind them. I don't care what someone said that someone said that someone said. That's my take, but I'm still not a buyer for them. I'm still not a buyer. Let's see. Oh, Kyle's PC saw one of the cards that I'm doing my graded edge play on. Must be. I've actually got. I don't want to spill the beans on what they are, but I'm going through right now. These are all. This is the grading pile. And so far, this is the miss pile. This is the near mint pile. So if you look at my ratio of what I'm grading versus what I'm not grading, how can I show this? I'm doing terrible here, but yeah, it's like less than 20% not gradable, over 80% gradable probably, and then only
one in each hand. And
I know. I'm trying to put both in one hand and curl them backwards, and I don't know what I'm doing. But anyways, there was something else that I wanted to do on that rant, and I forget what it was going to be. It was when I put Walsh's comment up. But yeah, the speculation, I don't know. It gets too weird when we talk about this, that, and the other thing. I heard a lot of that with the past controversy with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Test print card, and it's like, I don't know. What one person is putting money behind it, other people are putting a lot of words behind it, and I'm gonna go where the money is. I'm gonna go where there's actually like skin in the game behind it. People can talk, but some people are walking while others are talking. Akabane, is it Akabane? I believe Akabane. I keep saying Akabane. I think.
Oh,
sorry, Maz. Anyways, we're gonna try to get past these. Maybe we'll come back to them. Why is Surging Sparks getting so much hype? It's got a Pikachu on the Elite Trainer box. The last time we got a Pikachu on an Elite Trainer box, Vivid Voltage, booster boxes were $200 out of the gate. So I think that's it right there. You put the mascot of the hobby on the Elite Trainer box, and people take notice.
I don't think so.
Other than that, though, I'm not a big spoiler guy. I'm not a big lease guy, so I genuinely don't know. That's my like tongue-in-cheek speculation.
I think it's because things are finally starting to turn around and get better. I don't know. These past few sets have been absolutely brutal. Shrouded Fable is the illustration rares, I'll admit, for a lot of these new sets are really, really good. But the chase cards are so bad. But now with Surging Sparks, we're finally turning that around, and we're actually getting some good cards. I don't know if Surging Spark will necessarily be like the set that everyone thinks it's going to be, the next Evolving Skies or whatever. But I think it's going to be like the turning point in Scarlet and Violet when things actually start getting good. Because we'll have Surging Spark, and then we'll have EVs, we'll have Team Rocket, we'll have Gym Pokemon. It'll actually be getting good. And once that happens, it's gonna get absolutely insane because people are so desperate for a good set, and we have not gotten one outside of like 151. We have not gotten a good set.
Twilight Masquerade?
No.
It's got a frog in it that goes for $500.
Frog wearing a hat.
Oh God! Don't hold back, Nick. Don't hold back. Yeah, I mean, you've got Surging Spark, you've got Pikachu, you've got the mascot on the ETB, then you've got like the rocket set coming, you've got the dragon thing coming. It feels like the next boom is coming. I always joke about that. People are talking about the next boom. I don't think actually the next boom is coming, but I feel optimistic about the next year. I as Retro said earlier, I feel very bullish about the about everything as of right now. Maybe that means the top is in. Maybe that means the end is near. But I'm feeling bullish. Fat Belly wants to know if someone has like $500 in loose packs of Modern, mainly Twilight and Paldea, some 151 in Crown Zenith too. Would it be reasonable to try and trade it for a bigger card or just sell them? The main thing, like, money exists because back, like, you used to have a baker and you used to have the guy that went fishing and you used to have the guy that made the clothes. The baker might want fish, but the fisherman might not want the bread, right? So you have this medium of exchange, which we call money, to allow people to transact all their different goods, knowing that not like trades are just so inherently difficult because you need to find someone who has what you want and wants what you have. And just rarely does that work out perfectly. A lot of times with vendors, if you're willing to do it at a discount, if you're willing to like give them profit, they will facilitate that trade at a cost to you. So what I'm saying is sell them and then buy what you want, because there's a decent shot. That's my take personally. Maybe Nick will have a different one, but sell it, get the money, buy what you want legally per the IRS. If you do a trade anyways, and I think that's why a lot of people favor trades, because they think they're like getting by, not having to report it. Technically speaking, I made a short 2 months ago or so. If you trade, you have to report that basically as if it was a sale. No one's doing that. Almost no one's doing that, I'm sure. Yada yada, all that. But yeah, that's my take on it. What do you think?
I would agree. Trades are really tricky, especially for something like that, because you're limiting your not quite buy, but trader pool. You're limiting your buyer pool so much to someone. Okay, who's gonna want 500 packs? Most likely it's going to be some type of streamer. And is a streamer going to give you an equal trade or have something that you want? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think it would be a lot easier for you to sell your packs yourself. You'll be able to sell them so easily. It won't take you any time to sell them.
Nick or I will buy them. Like reach out. Nick or I will just buy them.
Yeah,
at some percentage of what they go for on TCG Player.
Yeah, you won't have any trouble finding a buyer for those, and then you can negotiate on whatever card that you're looking to buy. I don't know. I think trading works well in person. Like if you like packs and cards and stuff like that in person, I think it works out well. Online, I don't know how people do trades. So I'm assuming you're online doing this trade. So I think selling the packs is definitely the way to go.
Yep. We're on the same page. But maybe anecdotally, someone will chime in that they made this perfect trade and they cut out the middlemen and they cut out all the fees and all this because one person had exactly what the other one wanted and they were both end consumers that just met and they didn't have to go through a dealer and they didn't have to take 80% or 70% or 80, 85, 90, whatever. That happens. But it's just much rarer. It's much less common. Like say a bigger card, say you want the Twilight Masquerade Greninja. To just find someone who has that exact card and wants like that exact mix of packs and giving you full value for them. Absolutely could happen. But the amount of time, effort, energy, like depending on how you value your time, all these different considerations go into it. Mm-hmm. We would both lean heavily towards sell and then buy. This is a common one that comes up. Pokemon DK hitting us with tons of questions and comments. We appreciate you. Every man and his dog are hoarding 151. Will this set actually be a good investment compared, for example, Pokemon Center, promos, etc.?
Yes, 100%.
Yes, 100%.
No, I was talking to Walrus about this morning. So when I do my pack rips, the rip till you hit. It's the same price as single packs, but the catch is I get to keep all your bulk. You're just getting the hits. And so ripping 151, I've accumulated a ton of reverse hollows. And I want to say we just started listing the reverse hollows maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And the set's a year and a half old at this point. Maybe not. Maybe I forget. But the set is old at this point. You would think everyone who wanted to complete the set has already completed the set, but we are selling so many reverse hollows every single day. It's wild. So there's still a ton of interest. Packs, people are still wanting to buy packs and rip packs. 151 is definitely going to do well, especially if we don't get another English reprint, like a big reprint. It's going to be insane. Look at the Japanese booster boxes. They were hovering at like $75, and then like overnight they jumped up to 100. Now they're coming back down a little bit, but it's wild how quickly price moves on that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. Everyone and his dog is hoarding it, but more than that, more than everyone are ripping it like fiends, like complete degenerates. Tune into any stream with 151 going on. It is a very common, very high. I'm not going to go so far as to say like some people say only demand matters and people will always want it forever. There's an amount that Pokemon could print that would make it a very dark situation for investors. I think Pokemon is too smart to do that. I think I trust Pokemon. Any game can be printed to death. Everyone having everything, like everyone says how they want all this and that, and if everyone were given the reins to just print unlimited everything, you could kill Pokemon. You could kill the TCG by printing too much of it. People don't believe that. People don't understand that. But I think Pokemon is too smart to do it. They make the vast majority of their money in merchandise and all that anyways. But yeah, I'm very bullish on it. Again, talk versus walk. What am I actually doing? I don't have good tabs on it. I have maybe 500 boxes of Japanese. I have maybe 5,000 packs of English amongst all the different products. I'm not in a rush to sell any of it. I'm not like once streaming starts, there's going to be a big outflow. I'm going to very quickly try to figure out what my outflow is of 151 Japanese and English. And I'm going to try to be ordering it to the extent that I'm like selling it to just maintain what I have for like the short to medium term, probably. When I say short to medium term, I mean like 1 to 5 years. I think when some people hear that, they think 1 to 5 hours, 1 to 5 days. But when I say long term, I mean like 30, 40 years. So I always try to like contextualize my short, medium, long term for what this space hears when I say it. So when I say short to medium term, I'm talking like 1 to 5 years. I want to have my 500 boxes of Japanese. I want to have my 5,000 packs maybe of English. Maybe it's, I don't know the exact number, but it's probably around there if I had to guess. So yeah, you can hear what we're saying and you can see what we're doing. And I think seeing what we're doing is more important. Like presumably, Nick, you have some decent stash of both and you're probably like ordering it as you're selling it on streams, I'd imagine. Or at least trying to.
No, actually 151 I messed up big time.
Oh no, Nick got caught with his pants down.
Yes, exactly. No, I figured we were gonna get reprints. I thought we would get more reprints, so I
still think there's a solid chance we might, but like I'm also hedging against that we don't.
Looking back, I wish I did hold more, or wish I held something. But I was confident this set was going to get reprinted into the ground. Look at like Celebrations, Crown Zenith, all our past like good specialty sets. They were reprinted so much. 151. We got we got UPCs or ETBs. I forget. We got one of them, but then that was it. So I've broken
we got a lot of. They reprinted those heavily. Some additional waves.
I opened everything for the packs, and the only thing I have set aside is I've got 10 cases of the booster bundles, which that's a little bit, but that's all I have for 151.
A case is 60, right? It's 6 displays.
Yeah, yep.
So that's 360 packs. You have how many cases of those?
10 of those. So
you have 3,600 packs right there.
Yeah.
And I said 5,000. I could. 5,000 is probably. I probably don't have more than 5,000. I probably have somewhere around there. But Japanese, like I wanted to have, obviously hindsight, I would have had 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 boxes now if I knew it was going to do what it did. But people will say how obvious it was. It's like, how many boxes did you have? 6? Wow. Good job on that play that you knew was going to happen. Glad you have your 6 boxes. Some people will take that as elitist. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be, but like some of it, you really need to be careful. Like, don't just listen to what they're saying. See what they're doing. Transparency is not required by anybody, but I think it's really helpful when you actually put numbers to it, because it's like, oh yeah, Alex actually recently, I was listening to a live stream and he talked about this. It's like the amount of people that will hem and haw and analysis paralysis and all this stuff over like whether they're going to buy 1 box more or 2 boxes more. It's like, what are we doing here? We're spending 5 hours optimizing a $10 situation. It's like, I don't know, but that's like constantly like it's always going to happen in the hobby. Again, whatever. I truly think, and this is the speculation, unsubstantiated. I'm not sure. Supposedly spring for Japanese. So my intent, how I'm going to navigate, again, I'm hearing Japanese is coming in the spring. I don't want to be caught with my pants down. I don't want to sell all of it for 100. Like I got most of it between 50 and 70 probably. So I could sell it right now for a decent profit, but I don't want to sell all of it, have 0 inventory by March, and then have it never come. Have reinforcements never come. So the way that I will navigate winter, on the assumption that we're going to get more, fairly likely, I'm going to continue to keep my ear to the ground. I'm going to continue talking to Retro, my Instagram Retro Specs, my Japanese booster box plug. I'm going to continue getting a feel from him. And I'm probably going to try, like right now I have 500 boxes, say, of Japanese. Some I have myself, some Retro has for me for my eBay. I'm probably going to try to dwindle my 500 down to 300 by the end of winter. So by early spring, I'm going to target having 40 to 50% less, assuming more is coming. And then if it comes and it goes to 50, I'm going to be like, Dan, you dummy, you could have sold it all. You could have, like, hindsight's 2020. I'm going to be mad at myself for not having sold it all. And if none comes, it's going to be like, Dan, you dummy, you had 500 boxes in September when you did that PokeFlipz. Now 6 months later, it's 200 a box and you have only 200 or 300. Like you could have made a lot more money. It's always going to be obvious in hindsight. But yeah, like I want to hear from the people 6 months before they were saying, hey, this obvious thing happened. I want to see the clips of what they were saying then. Because like I just told you, like I feel like that's the most value I can give. And that might be a very suboptimal thing to do. It's kind of like Dan does. It's sitting the fence. I'm not selling it all. I'm not hoarding it all. I'm selling half of it. And I'm going to, what I really intend to do though, even better than that, I'm going to try to sell 600 boxes this winter. I'm going to try to sell 800 boxes this winter, but I'm only going to buy back 500 or 600. So I'm going to be selling and replenishing. I'm going to sell without respect to what my cost basis is on my inventory. I'm going to try to sell it at $5 to $10 profit over what I can replenish it at, because that's a more interesting number to me than what my cost is. One thing, and actually, like PK, shout out PK last night. I think he's used the saying many times. You can't go broke taking a profit, but you can really do yourself a disservice taking a profit. I could sell all my Japanese 151 overnight. Boom, snap. I could call up somebody, 500 boxes gone at 80 bucks a box, 90 bucks a box. I'm sure. I can't replenish it for that. So if I sell everything, it was a profit to what I paid. But I want more. I need it. I need it to stream. So I wouldn't be going broke. I would be taking a profit at my own detriment, though. So you need to be careful. I understand the saying, but I'm not a huge fan of the saying. You can't go broke taking a profit. I guess the way that I am, I just need to further contextualize everything. I get the quote, but I agree. I have been profitable in 2 years. Dan's king of hedging.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
And then on the English front, like right now, through one of my distributors, one of our favorite ones that gives us a limit 2 weekly, I can buy 2 displays of 151 booster bundles for 400 a piece. Mm-hmm. It's below market, but not much. I can't sell it on TCG Player or maybe I can sell it for a little bit of margin. I think on TCG Player they're 500. I could probably net like 20 a display on TCG Player. I probably should order them, but I haven't been ordering those. It is 500 on TCG Player. After the stream ends, I might buy my limit too. I just talked myself into it. But same thing. I would rather in many ways have 10,000 151 packs. Part of the reason I only have 5,000 is because I think we're gonna get more. But I'm not I don't hold that with strong enough conviction that I have 0 packs. If I had strong enough conviction we were gonna get a reprint, I would have 0 packs because I can sell them all right now at $7 a pop at a good margin to what I paid. So yeah, that's always the context that I like to give, the transparency that I like to give. And I don't think you get a whole lot of that. I don't think you get a whole lot of like that in depth. How much do you have? How much do you plan to have in this amount of time? Anyways, so that was our rant on 151 investing. 100% invest in 151.
I would say so for sure.
And that's a big bit of context too. When you hear someone saying 100% invest in 151, here is the link to buy them from me in my store. I'm like, please don't buy from my link. If you want 151 loose English packs, please don't buy from my eBay link. I have them there. They're very expensive. I sell 1 or 2 lots a week. I have a promoted listing on eBay. I'm probably like $30-$40 more for 36 packs than most of the other listings are. And I still sell some. So like, I'm not saying it to like, here, invest in them now from me. It's such a good investment, guaranteed to make you money. And that's why I'm selling it to you. Well, that's not what this is. This is like, and Nick's not telling you, come invest in 151 on my stream tonight. Like, absolutely, go rip with Nick if you want to. But we're talking about like buying elsewhere. Like, we're not the ones selling it to you. So that means something too, I think, at least. Here's in the same vein. I'm trying to like theme things. I'm trying to run them together. Garochu collects. That was actually like, talk about alpha beta. Isn't that like the he's got Garochu? You see the avatar, the Raichu there. Isn't that like a pre TCG, pre video game like concept drawing of a potential?
Looks like it, yeah.
I believe Garochu was like, I don't know if it was what Raichu could have been or if it was a potential evolution for Raichu, but I feel like that's one of those E4 stories that I read.
The third. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it might have been a third that Raichu would have evolved into. But anyways, what do you guys think is the minimum amount of starting capital for getting and successfully managing a distributor relationship? Would mainly be selling sealed product in person at local shows. It's one of those things, like the more the better. I got into distribution back in the day with $5,000. I started my whole endeavor, all the raw, sealed, graded, all the stuff that I did started with $5,000, and that included wholesale distribution. I think with a few grand you can do it. Keep in mind though, the minimum orders are like several $100s to not pay shipping. I think depending on the distributor, maybe it's $500, maybe it's $750. But if you're vending every weekend, if you're buying the right stuff, keep in mind, you're probably going to be paying through your distributor at or above what you'll just be paying from P Football Pete or Safari Zone or what's that super old website?
Hills Wholesale Gaming.
Hills Wholesale Gaming. You're probably going to be paying at or above what you could just be paying through those other avenues. But it might be worth it if you're going to be here for the long term, and if you're going to really scale over time, it still might be worth getting into. But I think you can do it with a few grand as long as you are selling frequently enough to justify that. If you're only going to vend one show a year, if you're going to try to make margins selling online, it's a whole different formula, and it's probably not going to make sense at all unless you're doing massive orders by the pallet and can get the prices down and get your selling fees down with different platforms. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to be doing a ton of in-person shows, it'll long term, I think it would be worth it. Just in an occasional couple shows a year, I almost think you're better off doing like some other site, buying packs off someone on Facebook or buying boxes off Safari Zone or one of those other sites. Because you're gonna be paying right around what you can get them for. The only thing you're doing is you're building that long-term relationship in order to hopefully get boxes for cheaper. Andy Northwood's TCG, he's mentioned it, and not like ragging on you or anything, or him or anything, but he's mentioned his price for boxes through distribution is I think he said it's like 102 for Surging Spark. And he said he can get boxes for 102 to 105 through I forget what site he said, but like Safari Zone or something like that. And the reason he's buying through distribution is he's paying right around what he can get these boxes for, but long term he's hoping that his costs will go down. He'll build a relationship. He'll be able to get like good sets through distribution, all that stuff. So there are definitely perks for working through distribution, but it's not like you're going to be getting this stuff for dirt cheap, especially if you're a new account and especially if you're not spending a lot of money. So definitely keep that in mind. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and distributors have been playing around with pricing. I've paid in the past year on main set release booster boxes. I've paid anywhere between, like I'm talking first wave. I'm not talking restocks, whatever. I've paid anywhere between 89, I think, and 95. And I'm an account that's 10 years old. I'm an account that I don't know if I've done. I don't know what the numbers would be. If not 7 figures, I have to have 7 figures with at least one, with my bigger one, I would think. Yeah, I have to at this point. And I'm paying like 90 to 92 is my most common prices. 92.50 it is for Surging Spark. I think for the last couple I paid 90, but then they see that Surging Spark looks good. They kind of get a feel that the orders are higher. They feel the hype, and they're just like, Dan's buying 200 boxes. We'll take an extra 500 bucks from Dan. And I can't say no, and I can't really do much about it. Like, that's just the way that it is. That's the way that it works. I guess I could try. But I'm not even bothering because it's like, that's just part of it. But I think some people out there definitely have the expectation that wholesale boxes are like $50 or $60. I promise you they're not. I promise you. That might be, maybe distributors pay. I would love to know what distributors pay. Distributors probably don't even pay 50. Distributors probably pay more than 50. I don't know what the number would be.
They pay less. I would assume that's they're around 60. 70.
Yeah, they probably play 60s to 70s, low, super low, and then they're just insta selling. And years back, it was not the case. Years back, they would take a lot of product and they would sell a lot of it at the start. They'd have it in stock for 2 years though. Like these days, It is nicer for them. They're able to just get it off their books instantly if they want to. They can kind of invest in it if they want to, which some of them do. They do limit to at a more inflated price, and they would sell it as like, oh, we're making sure it's more accessible to all the people who need it for longer term. Some amount of that is valid, but some amount of it is like they're retailing more than distributing. They're instead of wholesaling, they're retailing. That's just what it is to some extent. But buy or buy, and I'm choosing to BUY instead of BYE, right?
Yep.
Fat Belly wants to know, do we use the Alt app? I've been using it, but I feel like you have to be careful on their medium price. I made a video. I think it was just my video Monday, I think. Do not take their alt price as gospel. I showed one example. I showed this card, the Gengar VMAX. Every single data point was between like 505 and 550, and they called this card, they called it an alt value of like 500. I showed the chart on my, let me actually see if I can share it. I showed the card on my screen in the video. Every single data point was above the best fit line. Like for whatever, like if you looked at the Moonbryon, which I also showed in the video, it had all these points here and there. And then the best fit line fit those points well. Some above, some below. It was kind of in the middle, as it should be. But the sites will have glitches. The sites will miss certain things. They'll miss certain nuance. Like I actually showed in it as well. I'm just going to recap the whole video, I guess. I showed like the full out Mario Pikachu. And one of the ones that it was comping off of was a sun faded one that clearly the market valued less because it looked bad. It looked sun faded. So people bid 20% less on it, 30% less on it. And that kind of nuance, that kind of context isn't going to come through an algorithmic data compiler like Alt. So I personally use Alt to be a one-stop shop for finding all the data points, but I don't live and die by their number. I actually don't even use their number. because sometimes it will be more often than not, it seems too low, which I guess would be to my benefit when I'm buying, but I also use it for pricing my stuff when I'm selling. So I just use it to get the latest data points and to get the low list, and then I do my own thing from there. I don't use their number as gospel.
There's a reason every single slab buyer says buying at X% of alt. And the reason is not because their values are accurate. I would not recommend selling through alt or selling by the alt value. Do your own research. Because I would 100% buy using the alt numbers. Absolutely not sell.
Always blind. I'll have stuff I would sell you at 80% of alt if you will buy always at their value.
We'll see.
There are times where they're high. There's times where they're high.
Yeah, you're gonna find that one instance.
And I'll sell you the whole market cap of them.
But yeah, no, I stick with eBay. eBay sold. Best way to go.
I'm trying to pull up alt right now. It's going super slow. Maybe I have too many things. Yeah, I have not shared screen in here. Present, share screen. Chrome tab. Holy crap, I have way too many tabs open. I think I got the right one. So yeah, here's the alt page for the Gengar VMAX. Apparently they didn't watch my video on Monday. They've not yet fixed it. But like, that is their best fit line. They're calling the card $588 value when all the recent sales were like $580, $580, $591, $640. So to be fair, it's a little bit better than it was on Monday. Because like as of Monday, every data point, maybe barring one or two, was above what they called the value. At least there's a couple below 588 that they call it. But yeah, like I would value this card 640, 590, 580, 580, 625. I would take the average of those five numbers, which is probably closer to like 610, which is 5% higher. So if you're selling at 80% of alt blindly, you're really selling at 75% or something like that, because alt is 5% low. But there are certain other cards where they're much more accurate. And I wouldn't live and die by this, because check out my video Monday if you haven't. Add it to your watch later. Don't leave us now. But some of the numbers were really, really bad. Some of the numbers were like I think they called the Mario Pikachu with high confidence, because that's one thing they do further. They say the alt value and they say how confident they are. The range that they give a singular number and then they give a range. The high end of their range was like 4,500 on the Mario Pikachu, of which I had just sold one for $6,000. So I said, if you have, not only will I pay you the alt value, I will pay you the high alt value, 100% of the high alt value. I will buy up to 10 copies of that. No one reached out to me, unfortunately. No one from alt, nobody else otherwise. But yeah, it like anything, it is fallible. Do I think that they this is one question that I've got, some speculation that I heard. Do I think that they're deviously building something into their algorithm where they intentionally deflate values by a certain amount to help out all their streamer buddies? I don't think that's the case.
I don't know. I don't know. I can kind of.
Some people definitely think that, but like when you look up Umbreon VMAX, and maybe I'll just show it because we're here. I guess I'll just rehash my whole video from Monday, but like the Umbreon VMAX was very proper. Last I looked at it, it was a very accurate value. It had data points above and below, and I was very comfortable. Like if you average the last five, it was right there. It was very reasonable. Yeah, I'm going to show this again. So alt value is 1239. Look at the best fit. Look at the actual data. It's above, it's below. It's as a best fit line should be. And if you look at 1239, you have higher, you have barely higher, you have a fair bit lower. So in the last four, if we took the average of last four, 1239 is quite close. You have two above, two below, and it's probably right about 1239. So sometimes they're like spot on. Actually, a fair amount of the time they're spot on. Sometimes the algorithm is just not perfect.
I'd be curious to know how often. That would be. I would never do it because it would take way too long. But take like 100 cards and see how accurate they actually are.
The issue is though, like if you don't like alt, you could make a video and you could cherry pick the 100 cards you show. If you do like alt,
you would have to choose the cards like not
unbiased, just randomly.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw it at a dartboard. But yeah, like me personally, and I think people want the alt value there. They want something put there. They want to be algorithmically determined. They don't want to have to take out their calculator and do the average of the last 5 sold. Or instead of calling it the alt value, just call it average last 5 sold. And then calculate, don't do some deep algorithm that calculates numbers that are subject to error. Tell us exactly what it is. Yeah. Tell us it's the average of the last 5 sold, and then show us the last 5. I don't like that they choose a random number because sometimes the number is really bad and it leaves them open to criticism. I don't personally think some people really, the whole world is out to get them. Some people think it's tinfoil hatty. Alt is all buddy with all the streamers, and they want to suppress all the values by 10, 20, 50% so that people can buy at a fraction of that and make more money. I don't think it's that because I just showed you Moonbreon. And again, my video Monday, I'm not going to show another one because I showed enough Monday. But they are right quite often. And old stuff, though, like I did a couple Instagram posts this week, too. If it's something that only sells once a year, twice a year, they're going to be way off a lot of times because and that's where it's like, why do you even try when none is sold in a year? Why do you even try to put a singular number on it? Yeah. Cards do not have market values. Cards do not have fixed prices. I've redone my whole video Monday, so let's move on to the next one.
So now nobody has to watch Dan's video Monday for Monday.
Yeah, now you don't have to go watch it because I just gave you the whole video.
the Spark Notes version of your video.
So this is on topic with something we just talked about. Can you really build a better relationship with distro by paying more and taking doo-doo products? What incentive do they have for moving people away from taking those products? So when you get a banger set that's coming out that everyone knows is going to do something big, which sometimes everyone knows it's going to do something big, they printed too much of it and then it doesn't do something big. But if something is going to be heavily allocated and they have, say, 100 units of that product, whether that's tractor trailers or warehouses or individual boxes of it. If they have 100 units of it and they have 20 accounts for a given rep, and that rep has one account that has done 25% of his business, presumably the way that it works, that account will get 25% of the product. If one of the accounts has done 0.5% of that rep's handle, that rep's total amount, that person will get 0.5% of the whole thing. Theoretically, presumably that's the way that it works. There are tons of distributors. There are tons of locations at each distributor. Like going back to the whole tinfoil hat thing with alt, like I'm a logical, realistic person. Some amount of that stuff goes on. This is an unregulated market. Do I think alt is doing that so publicly in a space like that? No. Dan will put his tinfoil hat on, and I will tell you something that I'm quite confident is true. I don't have any evidence of it, but just given the sheer amount of different distributors, the sheer amount of different locations of each distributor, I can almost guarantee you there's some amount of favoritism going on where theoretically there's supposed to be an allocation by order amount, but certain people are getting more than their fair share because of and whether that's they've been buddy with the guy for the past 20 years. And some people would say, and maybe rightfully so, if you've been with them since the inception of Pokemon, maybe you should get higher. Like maybe the corporate red tape response is everyone has to be allocated perfectly to their order amount over the past calendar year. Is it reasonable that some rep might say like, hey, this dude's hurting a little bit. This dude's been with me for 20 years. I'm going to throw him a bone here. I'm going to throw him some extra. I'm quite confident that goes on to some extent. And I'm not taking the victim stance. Like I'm not saying that as I don't think I'm the beneficiary of that, but I'm also not like, I'm not mad at that either. I feel like to some extent from time to time, common sense should kick in, and maybe sometimes it's used more nefariously. Maybe sometimes people get in on accounts. Maybe they haven't been there for 20 years, but they're still getting more than their fair share. That probably happens too. But it's like that. That's just the way the world works. That there's no way around that. Sometimes it's more who you know than your own merit, all that stuff, nepotism, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I would say so. And then the only other thing I would add is why do they want to build new relationships? Because people are constantly leaving as well. Like look at how many people wanted to get in with a distributor in 2020 because of the boom, and then look at how many people. There's still a lot of people that want to get in with distro right now, but there's a lot less than 2020. There's a lot of game stores that have gone out of business since 2020. So distribution has less accounts, and why not have more accounts in order to kind of offset people who are leaving?
Brad says Nepo baby. It's all about nepotism. I'm not saying this about Brad. It may or may not be the case. I don't know. But one of the most common thing, like people who say, "Oh, it's all nepotism. It's all this. It's all that." They did XYZ to get to where they are. They were born on. Most people that are saying that stuff are the what's the old saying? What's the old analogy? Or
I don't even know where you're going with this.
Something about like boiling crabs in a pot. Like boiling crabs in a pot. If one is trying to climb out, others will pull it back in. Like this is actually something in human society and humanity. A lot of people will just do, and I'm not saying this towards Brad. I'm saying this towards like this is a very common sentiment in this day and age. Everyone, all the haves, only have it because they're nepo babies, because they were born on third base. Blah blah blah. The American dream is dead. I'm gonna sulk here in my poverty, and there's no chance to escape it. And like that is such a common sentiment, and it's so sad to see it. Like Brad's comment spurred me to that thing, but like so many people will just do that. They won't get off their asses and do anything. They'll just cry. Anyone who has anything only got it through means that weren't savory or weren't right, and they don't deserve it. And I'm just a victim of everything. I'm a victim of circumstance, and everyone who has anything is just, they only got it because they were lucky or because they were born into it or blah, blah, blah. Like that is such a, like defeatism. It's such a common thing to be so defeatist and be so American dream is dead. And that stuff really grinds my gears, gets me going. And Brad will poke and well, because you were born on third base, because you're a nepo baby. Okay. Yep. That's what it is. You have no shot in life. Don't even try. Like, is that what people want to hear? Like, what are we talking about here? The American dream is live and well. If you think it's not, then it's not. Okay, whatever.
Oh my goodness. All this from one little comment?
I knew I was a victim somehow. You are all poor victims. I am very sorry for your circumstance. And there absolutely are victims out there, victims of circumstance. It's usually not the people crying about it, though. It almost never is the person.
Start? Why?
Nick doesn't want to be on screen. I need to pull you off screen when I'm ranting so hard. Nick doesn't want to be in the clip. Nick doesn't want to be in the clip when I get canceled here.
I just stopped my camera.
Yeah. So we are going to go for only 35 more minutes, and we have 12 starred questions. I'm sure we're going to have more coming in. Sorry, Nikki Slabbage. I missed this one. Super chat. Nick, tell Dan I'm a good guy and should be a guest. Is Nikki Slabbage in fact a good guy?
And should be a guest. Thank
Do
you,
you know
Slabbage.
Have you met Nikki Slabbage or no?
Oh God! Don't put me on the spot.
Uh-oh. Never mind.
Next question.
That's funny. He messaged me. I think he did go to Collecticon. He actually DM'd me on Discord recently. I think he did go to a Collecticon. I think he met like Greenie. I think he met some other people. I don't think he met either of us though. But someday maybe, Nikki Slabbage, come say hi to us at the next Collecticon that you're at and we're at. Like we generally, it's not that like we generally bring people on. We know people that we've interacted with to some extent. Like yeah, it's we only bring on one guest a month too. We definitely have a handful of people that we're working through, but someday maybe. No, unless yes. Nick, have you met Nikki Slabbage? No, but also maybe and yes and no. All of those answers. I'm bad with that too. It's very hard when you meet so many people. So there's Walrus's comment we did. Is 151 a good set? Jake Smith, thank you for your excellent question. Go check out Spicy Boys TV. Jake Smith, per the last live episode of Spicy Boys, whatever they call it, Joker Hour. I forget what it used to be called, Vendor POV, and then it was Joker Hour. I forget what it's called now. But he was in a dark place those first 10 minutes, but then he came back around by the end. So 151, if you don't know, it has all 151 in it in one set for the first time ever, all of Kento. So yes, it has the fundamentals. It puts the fun in fundamental.
It puts the fun in fun.
What in the world are these piggy banks custom card things, and why should anyone care? I have no idea what that is, Java.
Never even heard of it.
Is that an Instagram thing? Is that an eBay listing thing? I don't know.
Just share your screen and Google it. See what pops up.
Yeah, I'll skip on that. Maybe he'll come back though. There's actually a good question here by Johan Gauss that was asked exactly 1 hour ago right now that I'll put on screen. Thanks, Johan, for your patience if you're still here. This is a very good topic. Do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first, I guess, on this one. So I assume we're talking about the EA and PokeTrav.
EA, PokeTrav, Loose Packs. Yep. Yeah. All the big names.
So for those of you who don't know, PokeTrav bought a booster box. Later sold it to E&A Collectibles. E&A Collectibles had it for about a year. Sold it to a Whatnot streamer. That Whatnot streamer opened the box and found out that it was resealed. So E&A refunded the Whatnot streamer, or gave them gave them a new box, refunded them something. But does E&A now get to go after PokeTrav for a refund? Is the question here. And the bigger question is, I think for me, the time frame after a year, is that too long to give a refund? Should he be off the hook at that point? And what kind of time frame should you be looking at to refund someone? And my answer to that is I don't think a year is too long to wait for a refund. I think PokeTrav should have been responsible for refunding E&A for that box. That's one of the risks you're taking if you're going to be selling sealed product. If you're going to be selling, we all know that there are risks involved with buying booster boxes and selling booster boxes. And if you're going to be taking those risks to sell booster boxes, you need to be in a position where you can refund people if something like that ever happens. Or you need to be in a position where you 100% know that this booster box is authentic. There are no issues. I think PokeTrav absolutely destroyed his reputation. I would never buy from him. I've never bought anything from him, but I would never buy from him now. E&A, on the other hand, I think they're a very reputable seller. They would refund you, guarantee their product. And if you opened a box, no matter the time frame, sure, if you wait 20 years, 20 years, okay, maybe a little bit different at that point, but within a year, 2 years, I'm pretty confident they would have refunded you and made it right. And those are the types of people that you want to buy booster boxes from, especially knowing that there are reseals out there and there are fake boxes out there. You can't be buying this type of stuff from people who are just gonna leave you high and dry.
So you think? So you? Sorry, I was like looking for comments and stuff, and
wow, not even listening.
I wasn't paying 100% attention. So you think PokeTrav should have done it, and then when PokeTrav went upstream to Loose Packs, do you think Loose Packs owed him the refund also? Because that was a lot of people's points, is that it took like months for anyone to refund anyone. And a lot of people, I think, were under the presumption that like PokeTrav was the ultimate seller. They thought he should have refunded him immediately and then sought his refund upstream after
I think so, because originally we didn't know PokeTrav got the box from loot packs. So if PokeTrav had originally gotten the box from some random person who came up to the table at a Collecticon, I think PokeTrav would be out the money, because presumably he wouldn't know who he bought that box from. So he would have refunded ENA, PokeTrav would have been out the money. But now that we know PokeTrav got the box from loot packs, I think PokeTrav had the right to go after loot packs for that box too.
Is there any statute of limitations? So say this happened 10 years from now. Say the box was now...
I think 2-3 years.
It just feels so loosey-goosey. Like say Loose Pack sold it to PokeTrav 10 years ago, and then PokeTrav sold it to ENA 5 years later. So 5 years ago. So we have your answer for what happened now. I think it was like 6 months from PokeTrav selling to the streamer, and it was like a year from Loose Pack selling to PokeTrav. So turn the numbers into 5 years. Loose Pack sells it to PokeTrav, and then 5 years later, PokeTrav sells it to the streamer, and then 5 years later, it gets ripped. Does anyone owe anyone? So 5 years is too long. 2 to 3 years is right. So is it 2 to 3 years down the whole chain? So now I'm gonna test you again. So 6 years ago, Loose Pack sells it to PokeTrav. PokeTrav owns it for 2 years, sells it to ENA. ENA owns it for 2 years, sells it to the streamer. The streamers own it for 2 years and rip it. So 6 years from the original sale between Loose Packs and PokeTrav, the streamers opened it up 6 years later. Boom, it's fake. Who owes who and who doesn't owe who? Because I think it gets really silly. I think a lot of times the way that you can start to like stress test and like break down the logic that some people have, the logic that some people have, you can really demonstrate how silly some of it is by doing these extreme examples.
The extreme examples, okay, yes. But in this specific example, I think PokeTrav was definitely in the wrong. 6 years, okay. That would be a little bit different. I don't know what I would do in that situation, to be completely honest. But I do think in the situation that we had, I think PokeTrav absolutely ruined his reputation. I think he should have. It's a lot of money, but I think long term that definitely affected his reputation. Who knows?
Have you ever bought
because Charizard King has everyone's completely forgotten about that. Oh, I hate that guy.
Remember when we were
right
answering
up there with Sean Bassick for me. But
I forgot about him.
Forgot about that.
I forgot about him too because
he
blocked me. I don't see his posts. He blocked me when I posted because I was consigning the same card that he sold and like took a bunch of extra commission on. That was one of my consigners too that he took that from. So, anyways, where was I gonna go? Oh yeah, my take. Well, one, I was gonna push a little further on you. Have you ever bought from PokeTrav?
I have not. No.
So Nick is one of those people who I will never do business with him again. How much have you done with him before?
I said I would never do business with him again. But to be fair, I've never bought from him before.
So talk versus walk. I have done business with PokeTrav. I would do business again with PokeTrav. For other reasons external to this drama situation, I am likely not going to do business with him again because WotC boxes scare me. They used to scare me in the past, so I would always rip them immediately. I would always weigh out all my packs. I would always verify to the full extent that I could. I would always verify them. Now that CT scanning is a thing, they scare me even more, and I'm likely done with them forever. But having been someone who's spent 6 figures with PokeTrav, 6 figures with ENA, I think this is like a shitty situation where, like, it's so easy for people who are not affected by this whatsoever to just say things. And I'm pushing on, I'm picking on Nick a little bit here. I called out Nick with the whole we got big drama. Next thumbnail, is PokeFlipz gonna break up? Is PokeFlipz over after 3 or 4 years? But I intentionally like to demonstrate the fact that it is kind of silly how sometimes people that are not affected whatsoever will have like firm stances on it. And I'm not saying it's like completely unreasonable. I kind of get it, but it's also kind of funny when you really think about it. Because like I've done 6 figures with ENA and I've done 6 figures with PokeTrav. I'm likely done with both of them only for the reason that CT scanning scares me. I don't think either of them, and loose packs included. So I've never bought from loose packs myself, but like I would have in the past. That they just never had the best price for what I was looking for at the time. If I ever needed something though, I would buy from any of the 3. I think it was a really shitty situation. I think there is some small amount, and this is a little bit tinfoil hatty. I do not know the streamer. So I will tell you who I know and I will tell you who I don't know. I have no idea who the streamer was. I have never dealt with loose packs. I have dealt with ENA and PokeTrav a lot, 6 figures each. They showed 6 sides of the box. There exists a universe, and I'm not saying they did this. There exists a universe where theoretically loose packs could have sold a good box. PokeTrav could have sold a good box. ENA could have sold a good box. And the streamers could have done that, right? We didn't see the we didn't see the final side. We didn't see the 6 side. Was there a slit in that? Had they opened it that way? Had things been replaced from the bottom? We saw. I did see all the pictures. I saw that the Wizards logo was the same. I saw this and that. It's unlikely those would match between boxes. But like, there was, for me personally, and I'm probably significantly more broke than loose packs is. Like I'm quite confident to say that I'm significantly more broke than loose packs is. But I never sell sealed boxes like this for a reason. I wouldn't have wanted to give a refund if I was ENA or if I was PokeTrav or if I was loose packs. I think there was enough unknown. There was enough question there. But PokeTrav has more like all these people have more context than we do. Us bystanders that have no effect from it. No, like I have some relationship with 2 of them in the middle. But like PokeTrav maybe knows that streamer. Maybe it was the first sale PokeTrav ever had to that streamer. I don't know. Maybe he sold $1 million worth of stuff to them. If I was PokeTrav, like these are the things that my mind goes to when I put myself in that situation. So if I'm PokeTrav and that was the first time I sold to that streamer ever, and there was a history of like potentially questionable things, maybe if they had a box refunded through Fanatics, maybe if they had a history of like opening other fake resealed boxes, I might question like, did you guys do this? I don't have that context. I don't know. But like if I fully trusted them, if I was selling you a box and then 3 years later you said it was resealed, I would be like, Nick is not screwing me over here. Like context matters. And I don't know what their relationships are. I don't know what their history is. I don't know how much certain people can be trusted. So that's where I come from. Depending on the streamer, depending on the specifics, I might have instantly refunded them because I would have known that they didn't do it. But if I was loose packs in that situation, I wouldn't have wanted to. I mean, I would be able to afford to. There's no box that I think I've only ever sold. I think I sold 1 sealed box at a Collecticon once. Every other time, though, I've ripped them for packs. I've ripped them for heavies and lights. So I've actually been in this situation. And some people, the peanut gallery is always hilarious. The peanut gallery is always like, that's a $15,000 box. There's no way you sell that. And you don't know the exact, you don't, there's no way that you do a sale like that and you don't know the exact time and date and you don't like know the whole person's history and social security number. Like you would never do a sale of that extent and not have all the information on it stored forever. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, I sold the fossil box. I sold or traded the fossil box at some Collecticon a year to 2 years ago. I don't remember when. I don't remember to who. Like this peanut gallery that says you need to keep all this and that. You need to keep a full HD, 4K, 8K, Ultra HD video of every box you sell, and you need to keep everything, and you need to have a 100 terabyte hard drive dedicated to every item you've ever sold over $50. And so sometimes you see that on Facebook too. Like someone's talking about a $2,500 sale. Oh, well, I would fly that across the country and I would only hand deliver that. Like, what the F are you morons talking about? Like, I'm getting really riled up right now. It like sometimes the peanut gallery just blows my mind. What are you dummies talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. Stop talking. You're allowed to talk, but like when you go to the next level with it, when you say all these dumb things, it's like, do other people see this? Is this just me seeing this? I would fly that across the country. That's $1,000. Like what are you?
That's completely different than this, though.
I won't drive to the end of the street. I'll still ship it. Like I'm not going to drive 10 minutes for $1,000 sale. I'm going to ship it fully insured, all that stuff, signature confirmation. I'm not going to drive and meet up with somebody at a gas station to hand. A lot of times that's worse for you too if you're selling on a platform. Like then you don't have a tracking confirmation. I forgot to turn the red light. You can't even see the lights the way that I'm cropped. Let me fix this. Let me go full office. I'm getting the lights red. Once the lights turn red though, then I won't be able to stop. Now I won't be able to stop. Let me lower the other lights too. There we go. Oh man.
I don't know if your entire business revolves around sealed product, you gotta, reputation is everything. I don't know.
But again, the thing is context matters. And like, I know that the attention spans, I mean, bless everyone in here, 50 people in here, 2 hours later with all these rants, with all this different thing. Context matters, but our 15-second TikTok reel, YouTube short attention spans can't handle it. But like it, and I don't know. I tried watching some of the stories because again, Brad's gonna say drama llama, blah blah blah. I am affected by this as a former 6-figure customer of the two parties involved. This outcome mattered to me because I likely won't buy more boxes, but I can't say never. I am gonna start streaming. Maybe there's a chance. I would trust PokeTrav, I would trust ENA, I would trust Loose Packs that they would not personally CT scan stuff. But part of it is they don't have unlimited inventory. Like ENA is constantly posting Instagram stories where I just got a fresh batch of inventory. I trust them, but do I trust every single person that I don't know that sells to them? I don't know. That's hard. That gets very tough. So yeah, if I was PokeTrav and I sold, like if a month after I sold that fossil box, if someone came to me and they had all the videos and this and that, I wouldn't have had the videos on my end. And according to the comment section in some DramaTube channels, I would have been fully at fault. I would have been a guaranteed scammer because I didn't have a full 8K video broadcasting every side of it. It's like, yes, $12,000, $15,000 is a lot of money. But to some extent, like you deal in a lot of this stuff all the time. Like you're not going to have those obscene records for everything. It's wild, the things that people will just throw out there that are never affected by it. They'll never buy. They'll never sell any of that stuff ever in their life. And they'll have all this stuff to say about it. Like, what are we talking about? So in certain circumstances, I would insta refund like that. If I actually, there was a time I talked with Weedle. I think I had a box and I talked to him about it. I would have instantly refunded. And if it's one that I got from PokeTrav, I would have refunded Weedle and then I would have went upstream. If it was one that I bought kind of sussy on eBay, I would have pursued a chargeback. I would have pursued any means that I had upstream after I refunded Weedle. But like, if it was someone else, if the circumstances were different, it's always case by case. It's always case by case. But moving ahead, now that that's happened, I think more people will be more open about it. One thing that I always did with heavy packs, I did a hollow guarantee. If you open it in front of me right there and then, I don't trust people enough. I don't know people enough to like, if someone comes to me in 3 years, say, hey, Dan, Houston Collecticon 2022, I bought this from you. It was a guaranteed Jungle hollow pack. Sorry. Like, it was a hollow. I always told you at point of sale, it's a hollow guarantee. If you open it right now in front of me, I will give you all your money back or I'll give you another pack. If you come to me 3 years later, they're like, I don't have I need to be careful what I say here. I have records of that. I've filed all my records of that with the pertinent people, but like, I don't have I don't have a picture of you. I don't have a full 360 scan of that pack. I can't guarantee authenticity 5 years from now if you sell it to a streamer.
But
Sell it to 3 other
because
people.
you're saying if they rip it right in front of you, you're telling people that up front.
And what does Loose Pack say? What does ENA say? What does PokeTrav say? Like, I've bought 100K plus from PokeTrav and ENA. I don't fully know what their policies are. I genuinely don't fully know what their policies are on. But the thing is, like, the day that I received 95% of what I bought from them, I opened it and verified it. So like, a lot of times I did video them, but I can't say that I always did. Like, part of the reason that I'm not transacting in those things anymore or currently, there's just too many issues. There's too much concern. The whole CT scanning, the resealing. There's too many layers of bad stuff that I just don't want a part of.
Yeah.
My vertical is not yet improved because I've not yet started Air Alert, but I do start Monday. Oh man, 0 IPAs, one Snapple peach tea. I haven't had any iced tea in a few days, so getting that caffeine jolt back into me's got me going.
No Coke, man. You really are a changed man.
I actually have a self-imposed ban this month on soda and beer because I am too fat still. I have a year-end goal of 225. 225 is not going to happen when I'm starting September at 240 still, but I'm down to like 237 as of this morning, weighing in every Friday, checking in with Java and the other people in our group chat. But I will be 225 by the end of the year, and I will be dunking by next summer too. Anyways, we got lost in a long rant there. My apologies. And Mega Evo Mart says streamer was sus. I don't know. Again, Peanut Gallery chiming in. We're kind of all the Peanut Gallery here to some extent, varying levels. But when people say like, oh, well, he said this, and that's super sus. Like, he said that, I hope this isn't a reseal. That guarantees it was, like, he knew he resealed it himself. The amount of people, and sometimes that happens in, like, out of Pokemon too. Sometimes people say, oh, I know that he's the one who killed his wife because in his interview, he didn't react the right way. Humans are very different. Humans interact and react to different things very differently. Like to say that person didn't say the right thing, do the right thing, react the right way, that is so effing weird to try to say, like, I know they're guilty because they didn't do it the same way that I would have did it. If I opened a $15,000 box, I would have screamed, I would have cried, I would have thrown the box, I would have done this, I would have done that, and they didn't. And I'm not saying this on you, Mega Evo Mart. I'm just saying some of the silly comments that I read, some of the silly things that I see in the news and elsewhere. It's like so weird, some of the takes from the Peanut Gallery constantly. It will always be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to go quicker. How interested are you in Pokemon Pocket? Will it harm the physical product? I think Pokemon is very smart. I think they will make a ton of money. I think that to some extent that there might be people, if they can spend money to rip packs digitally, that might satisfy their need for the paper stuff. I feel like Pokemon will price it intelligently. I feel like even if they do cannibalize 5, 10, 15% of their own consumer base, some amount of it I feel like will happen. They'll be compensated fairly for it. I feel like the no production costs, no, like literally you just click a couple buttons and you make 1 million digital packs of whatever. They have a fixed like art budget, they have a fixed whatever, but like production, you can reprint that all you want for functionally free, right? So I think Pokemon is very intelligent. I am very trusting in them navigating through the IP, physical and digital. That's my take. Personally, I'm not the consumer for it though. I might download the app, I might play with it a little bit. I will not put money into it though, I don't think, unless I can take money out of it, which I don't think you will be able to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. I'll definitely download it, play it without putting money into it, like you said. I think there will be some people who get into that and forget about the actual cards. But for the most part, I can't see people like the vast majority of people completely forgetting about cards and just going digital. I can't see it at all.
And like Pokemon Go prints, I could be a lot further along, and I could have a lot powerful Pokemon in it. And my family and I we're playing it. We're trying to like be active with it. We're trying to get out and walk more. I'm free to play though. Like I'm free to play. I'm not putting money into it. I get my daily coins from having my Pokemon in the gyms, and it's all kind of silly because like I think for like $20 I could get the amount of Pokecoins that I get in like a month of normal play. But same thing in RuneScape. Like I play RuneScape. If I were to just buy bonds, I could have the amount of gold that I would make in months time. But that like ruins the game for me. The whole game for me is like playing it the normal way for me. Like I don't care if you pay to win, get ahead. Like I don't. Some people get so salty that people in RuneScape buy bonds. It's like that doesn't affect you. What are we talking about here? Play the game you want to play. Play the game the way you want to play it. Let other people play the game the way they want to play it. Like some amount of people might. I think you get some amount of packs for free. And I'm sure that there will be some people that only open the free ones, and my Moonbreon that I pulled in my Pocket app is better because I'm only free to play. You pay for them. You buy extra packs. You're dirty. You're grimy. It's like, who cares? I hope a lot of people play it and pay for it and make Pokemon a ton of money. I want Pokemon to be here for the next 1,000 years. And if they make a ton of money off this, that's more likely that they will be. So please, Pokemon, make a ton of money off it. Yeah, water definitely tastes very different. Not that I can like blind taste test. This is from my childhood well that I grew up in. Oh, this is the municipal water where I went to college. But they have different tastes. Not saying I can tell you which one is which, but like they definitely vary. So we covered that. So some streaming questions. So Walrus says, reluctantly for Dan, are you dictating what your streamers sell? As in you're sending stuff whether they like it or not. So I intend to send them, I'm going to give them a lot of freedom, partially by choice, partially by necessity. So I am not going to have W-2 employees. I've had a lengthy conversation. I've paid a hefty fee to consult with my accountants on what my streamers can do as W-2 employees and what they can't do. Sorry, as 1099 independent contractors versus if I give too much structure, if I make it too rigid, if I am too controlling, I am now forming an employer-employee relationship. My streamers will be independent contractors. I will likely send them a bunch of stuff. If they want to sell their own stuff, they can do that. It will be under different terms, under different rates, obviously. I'll be getting some cut instead of them getting some cut. But yeah, I'm going to largely, I'm going to send them a lot of stuff. You build the streams how you want to build them. If you want to request certain stuff from me, if you want to open a certain box for a box break, if you want this, like I will give them the type of inventory they like the most, that they think does the best. I will let them govern a lot of things. Again, partially because that's what I want to do, partially because that's what I have to do too, to some extent. Because if I say you have to stream exactly this night, you have to do everything these exact hours. Like if I build too much structure, that creates an employee-employer relationship, and they have to be W-2 instead of 1099.
I think that's also important because you're not going to be there, so they're gonna know. They're going to be the ones to know this type of card does best. Can we? A lot of people have been asking about this type of box. Can we do this box break? So they're going to have the knowledge behind that too. So I think that's also important.
I'm going to give them all the freedom that I possibly can. That is what I do not want to micromanage. I want to pay people who do a really good job really well. One pet peeve that I had of my former company, one thing that I've seen, and I've talked to many other business owners and different people about this, so many places that they'll just pay minimum wage and be fine with minimum output, or they'll pay like minimum pay and try to expect maximum work. Like I want to pay maximum pay, but expect maximum output. Like I want to pay people really well, but I'm going to expect them to do a lot. I'm going to expect them to be able to manage and run a lot of it. And I just want to be able to pull reports and manage the money side of it. And kind of like I do my consigning thing, like Fanatics, I'm not micromanaging what they're doing. They're doing this like Troll and Toad Evo. I love Troll and Toad Evo. I was setting the pricing. I was dictating certain things, but they were not my employees. That was just business to business. They were kind of an independent contractor, separate business. They were doing the vast majority of the heavy lifting. I was just managing certain sides of it that I wanted to. And that's all I want to do with this too. I want to have streamers that like are real go-getters, knowledgeable, know what they're doing. And I want to just be the inventory and do some amount of pushing advertising for their stuff too. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. If I stream for you, Dan, can I run Digimon? Nick was a hard no. That was a deal breaker. I could see in the future. I could see potentially there being non-Pokemon things. I'm primarily Pokemon. In the past, I've dabbled. I've had my own personal MetaZoo streams. If MetaZoo were to come back, could there be MetaZoo streams down the line? Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. Could there be One Piece? Could there be, probably not going to be Lorcana, probably not going to be sports, probably not going to be things that I can't get access to. But if I have access to it at advantageous prices, advantageous price points, if there's a streamer that wants to stream it and there's an audience that wants to buy it, I can see myself doing it. Absolutely. So reach out for specifics on the Digimon streaming, Walrus. Plushies could absolutely be sold. Yes. I mean, I can't go so far as mandating it probably because that might, I don't want to turn them into a W-2, but like if I was allowed to mandate it, I might. So this was back when you were talking about how no good set had happened since 151. I should have thrown it then, but hot take, if the Ripper doesn't like it, no one gives an F. The audience is what matters. Absolutely. Thank God Pokemon doesn't listen to Nick.
Whoa,
Thank God Pokemon doesn't listen to Nick. The sets are doing well and they're received well by the buyers. That's what matters. His own employee risking termination, saying these things against his boss.
Walrus knows that is 100% false. The streamer plays a huge role in what stuff sells and what stuff doesn't sell. I forget the example, but there was a card that I sold that I did not like. I did not like the card myself. So I tell people that I don't like this card. And it did not do well. But then cards that I personally like and I talk up, those cards do well. So the streamer definitely has a role.
Nick's manipulating the markets is what I hear. And apparently I misread Walrus's comment. It's dark if you can't taste the difference water has from different sources. I was saying I was reading it as if he said you can't taste the difference, but he's saying you can. He's saying it's dark if you.
Someone else was saying you couldn't.
Okay, yeah, a Stein stream would print. MetaZoo Hour ask us anything.
Nope, that's where we draw the line.
We are going to be wrapping up pretty soon. I said earlier in the stream, 3:45. So we're gonna wrap up quite soon. But I do have a few more. Smeds Pets says Crown Zenith is cheap. I've heard great things about set sentiment. Any thoughts? I love it. I love. There's a lot of cool cards in it. Very high print quality. A lot of gradable cards. Hint, hint. A lot of the cards that might be in my grading pile might have come from certain sets, Crown Zenith being one of them. Where am I? I don't know how to orient this thing. Feels like I've been drinking IPAs.
Yeah, no, I think Crown Zenith is a really good set. That's still number 2. 151 is number 1. Crown Zenith is number 2 in terms of what people are ripping on the lives right now. So I think long term Crown Zenith, people want to rip Crown Zenith even still, and I don't think that's going to change.
Garochu came back. Have either of you ever been to the Mohegan Sun show in Connecticut? Pretty good middle ground between a local show and a Collecticon. I've not. No, I've never been to the Mohegan Sun. I don't think that's not one that we went to, right? We didn't go to that casino. We went to
Encore.
Encore, that's right. Yeah.
What is that? I have been. I went to the last one they did, and oh god, I can't remember the EC3 Con or something like that. EA3, something like that. That is a good one. I do like that one. I'm gonna hopefully go to their. They have one coming up in September, maybe October.
It's only 4 hours. Invite me when you go. I might go.
It is a pretty good show. There's a decent bit of vendors there. So I'm hoping to go to that one. That would be fun. I'll definitely let you know when that is.
Yeah, let me know that. I mean, it's at Mohegan Sun too. I don't know if we're getting a Collecticon at a casino ever, but a show to casino would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
If a perfect analytics product were to exist, would you pay for it and how much? So there are a certain amount of like market data points that I like to get a feel for. Like TCG Fish has certain stuff I like. TCG Player themselves has some stuff I like. Graded Edge has a lot of stuff that I like. Gem Rate has tons of information that I like. If someone could build for me, and I don't even know what it is right now, and it might change over time, but if I could get someone to personally build for me a dashboard website that would give me in the fewest clicks possible all the most relevant information for me that I want, like on any given day, I would pay a lot for that. Like that is all I'm hearing is like, do you like how much would you pay to save half an hour a day? I would pay a lot. If I could get a product, and depending on the day, certain days it might save me 2 hours, certain days it might save me 0 for 3 weeks straight. But if the perfect product were to be built and it had a dashboard of all the information that I wanted, presented in the perfect way, scraping from PSA, scraping from CGC and BGS and GemRate, and scraping from everywhere, hundreds of dollars a month would be what it would be worth to me. Do I think anyone will ever create something so specifically targeted towards me? Probably not. If I wanted them to, it would cost significantly more than that. But the thing that I want would be so niche. It probably wouldn't even be that marketable to that many other people. So I'm not too optimistic that it will come. But like I've actually been talking with Will from Graded Edge, and if you have the ability to like scrape data very easily, very quickly from all these different websites, from eBay, from PSA, maybe reach out to me. Like I've actually talked with Will about like, can I just like, what's your hourly rate? I do consults for people. I do $100 an hour, $50 for a half an hour. Maybe I can't afford, but I am fine paying people for their expertise. And I actually might be paying Will to just do like, hey, gather me all this data because I want to make a video on it. I could manually get it, but it would take me 4 hours. Why don't I pay you $100 for half an hour, $100 for an hour? Like, I don't even know what the going rate for that kind of stuff would be. But like, if I just do the math on it, if it's going to take me 4 hours and I don't care how long it takes you to do it, that's worth $100 to me easily, like minimum, without even thinking about it. So yeah, there could be something there, and I might do it on like a contract, like not a contractual basis, but like on a sporadic basis, from time to time, moving ahead. So maybe reach out if you can do that kind of stuff, because I have like a document that I keep a bunch of future YouTube ideas, and there's a lot of them I just haven't done because I haven't taken the 4 hours to sit down and manually put the information together.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like something would be like getting data like that would be possible, but an actual like app or something to price like for me it would be pricing single cards, be able to lay out a whole bunch of single cards and accurately price them. I don't know how many people would actually need that or want that. So I feel like the cost wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah. I think like TCG Player has the app where I feel weird looking up and seeing myself with red lights now. I'm not being very red light at the end here. I'm going to go back to orange and blue. But for a while there I was going. We're going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. So I'm going to calm us down now. Let me get the other light back on. I think somebody was talking about in a live stream somewhere, was it Rare Candy or was it Collector App, or I don't know who it was. You could take a picture of like 12 cards spread out on a table, and it would do them all on TCG Player or whatever. I don't know who that was, but I think someone's working on that.
I've heard. I have heard about that.
Thoughts on the GameStop buyouts? So yeah, I've heard some people selling stuff at like 110% of market for very short spurts. I think they limit like how much you can do per day, and they limit no more than 2 duplicates of a card. Look into it. It's a reasonable outcome. One thing that I actually talked about, I forget where I talked about this, maybe Discord. If someone wants to scrape my whole eBay if someone can build a tool that can look at the images of all my cards on eBay, if you find any card on my eBay that I can go and I can sell to GameStop for more than I will net myself selling on eBay, send me a list of them and I will give you a finder's fee. I don't know if that's a task of like months and months for someone to build that, or if someone could build that in 2 hours. Frankly, I don't care. Like I will pay you thousands of dollars an hour if you can do this in 10 minutes. But if you can build a tool that will scrape my whole eBay, what cards can I go sell at a GameStop now and net more than I'll net selling them through eBay and paying fees and shipping? I'll go and I'll sell them to GameStop, and then I'll give you the extra that I got. I'll give you every cent extra that I would have gotten. Finder's fee. So yeah, if someone can do that, please scan my eBay, scan Nick's eBay, tell us what to go sell to GameStop, and then you'll make some money.
What do you, because like to sell the game, you need to put the cert. You need to put the cert number, right? Yeah,
they have a website. If you look up like GameStop graded card estimate, there's a website where you literally just you type in the cert. Like I'm gonna type in my Gengar VMAX right now, and it'll just tell you. Again, why don't I just pull this up?
But can you type in a card, or does it have to be the cert number?
Because
cert numbers would be more difficult. I feel like.
It's only graded cards, I think. Oh, maybe you can type in card. I don't know. But yeah, let me present again. So yeah, I just typed in the cert number for this card right here, 956 blah blah blah. Get cash today. Like this sells for over 500, so this is not one that's applicable. But still, like it's a cash offer. Don't be mad at it. It's like take it or don't take it. I don't want to manually go through every card I have. I feel like most of them won't be a play, won't be a thing. But I know for a short time, stamp promos. I actually have stamp promos next to me right now, so I'm going to do one of these. This card right here. They were buying them at like above what low list on eBay was. So I think like shout out Spicy Boys TV. I think they were talking about it. I didn't go sell those. I should have in hindsight, but like whatever. Yeah, these are selling for like 350 to 400, I think. So there was a short time where you could act on it and you could sell like 2 copies a day for a couple days for like $40 more than you could net on eBay, whatever it was. I say it mostly
easy to do if you put the cert numbers. You probably don't put the cert numbers in your listings.
I do for everything above 250. I don't on anything below 250 stock photo.
Easy to grab those. But then for the ones that you don't have cert numbers, I don't know how you would do that. I'm sure.
Oh, it's graded card only PSA 8 plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have the ability to do that. It would be a very manual process for me. I don't care how long it takes you. This is what I would be willing to pay for that, sir. If someone wants to do it, I say it mostly tongue-in-cheek because I don't think you could throw it together quickly enough to make it make sense. But like if you can, literally just start scraping a bunch of people's eBays and be like, hey,
exactly.
Or buy it yourself, send an offer, buy it yourself, and then go get more money. The issue with that is the amount of time to get it. The offer will likely go down or go away. But anyways,
that's the thing. You can't really lock in your offers.
But if someone if every Monday someone messaged me, Dan, on lunch today, when you go to the bank, when you go to the post office, GameStop is close enough that if I could just go guaranteed sell for cash, $1,500 worth of stuff, deposited into my Venmo, paid in cash, whatever, like yeah, I would give people a finder's fee to do that. But maybe it doesn't make sense. It probably doesn't.
I do have to get going though.
Yes, you do. I know. I apologize. But this was the only other question. How long till whoever bought Metazu starts printing sets again? We'll find out, I guess. We'll find out if they do.
Did Metazu actually sell?
Nick Strength and Pokemon did a live last night. I think we're in like the interim zone where bidding has closed. It's not been announced who's won, yada, yada. Like a lot of speculation, a lot of Metazu. No idea what's going to happen. We'll wait and see. I will anxiously wait and see because I did enjoy Metazu and we'll see what happens in the future. But yeah. With that, thanks everyone for watching. We do have to go, both of us. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, chat. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Anything to say in closing, Nick? What time are you live tonight?
No, thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. I will be back live 9 p.m. tonight. Come hang out on eBay, the superior platform.
Go invest in every set because they're never going to be printed again, as Nick said earlier. But yeah, we appreciate you all watching. We will catch you all later.